Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Trackside with PR. Tonight we have Ian Baker, Mr. World Time Attack himself. Welcome. And
Thanks,
Candii
guys.
Banks.
Hello.
Welcome.
Did I forget about Aaron again? Sorry, Aaron.
It's been an
Is it?
ongoing thing.
Sorry.
It's almost like a setup now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good timing though, because World Time Attack's coming up, 2023.
2 weeks, mate. Yeah.
2 weeks. Wow. Are we going to manage to get this out
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get out. This will be next weekend. So
next week? So
when you watch this, it'll be a week away.
So the good news is all the cars are here
right. Okay.
because, coming off the back of COVID, what people probably don't realise is there was a, logistical nightmare and docks and so on were banked up and we had to take extra precautions to make sure they got here in time, but they're here. So,
Yeah, wow.
Awesome. And when you say all the cars are here,
yep.
how many cars are getting imported?
So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from Japan, 5 from America,
Yeah.
and 3 from New Zealand.
Wow.
Yeah. Right.
And these are all super high quality cars.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a myriad of there's some of the top time attack cars. Ryan Turk's V10 Judd powered Supra, which is a sort of pseudo time attack demo car that we just had to bring because it's
Yep.
just so badass.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Ryan knows that unfortunately it doesn't comply to any of our rule set. We can't change the rules. So I said, just bring it, man. We're going to give you your own class. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Wow.
People just want to see that car go around the track. So it doesn't have the aerodynamics, and Australian cars are very advanced. So it probably won't be as fast as what people anticipate,
Yep.
but it doesn't matter. It's
just crazy.
It's just so badass.
good, that-
11,000 RPM V10. I'm talking to the V10 guys.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if anyone here doesn't need convincing, it'll be you boys,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
100%.
So,
right.
we're all on the right track so far.
Take us back to the beginning. Where did it start?
On the pit wall at Tsukuba Circuit in Japan in the freezing cold
Yeah.
in 2007, I reckon. 2007. We took an Aussie car. It was an old high octane sponsored R32. Back in the days, remember the Dutton rallies and all that stuff? And those
Yeah,
boys were
yeah.
cleaning up. We got involved with them, helping them out with stuff. And we suggested, why don't we take the car to Japan? You know, Mark was like, hell yeah, let's do that, you know. So I went and got a bunch of my suppliers from High Octane at the time to give us a little bit of money, ACL bearings and Turbo Smart and guys that could do with a bit of, a lot of companies jumped on board and we took the car to Japan.
Yeah, wow.
And that was back in those days that it was real when everything had gone to the pro level, and it happened really quickly from 2004 to 2007. HKS went out and set that lap time, and everyone went, right, we're building cars, and it was shops like yourself really
Yeah.
that were, it was build a car, put a pro driver in it, and go and see what lap time it is, and bring business in the door.
Yeah.
That's what it was about, you know. And then, so by 2007, there was some really crazy cars, like wide-bodied with aero and all, nothing like what it is today. But
Yeah.
it was still pretty damn cool. And I'm sitting out on the fence there going, man, this is badass.
Yeah.
We've got to bring this back home, you know.
Yeah.
So it was the inspiration to do that back then, and sitting on the freezing cold wall of Japan. And then, of course, we went and had beers that night, and I said to Mark Berry, I've got to get this going back home somehow, and he said, well, I'll tell you what, if you do that, I'll build a whole new car.
Wow.
I'll build an R34, which back then, you got to remember the circuit racing was really just circuit racing. And I think Auto Salon had done a small time attack event, but no one could go to it. And then, of course, everyone said, no one's going to watch time attack, it's boring. And I'm going, you know what? That's absolute bullshit. If you've seen these cars in Japan, you're going to be fucking glued to watching it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But it took a while till we could get the cars that badass. It's probably like drag racing, you know.
Yeah.
If you went and watched, stock street cars go down the strip, no one's really interested. But
Yeah.
make them go 7 seconds and you'll fill the stadium, you know. So it was the same sort of mentality.
Yeah.
So then we come back home and I went and seen Nathan Luck from Fast Fours magazine and said, I want to do this here. And he goes, man, well, we want to get involved. And he took me to meet the guys at Yokohama Tyre. And they've been involved every day from that day on.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
They've never left.
Because that was the control tyre, wasn't it?
Well, at first it wasn't. So at first it was just brung what you brung. And then we had, in 2000, that's right. So at first we allowed any tyre, and then another tyre manufacturer. See, when what happens when you don't have a control tyre, it turns into a bit of a tyre wall.
Yep.
And so another manufacturer. So the control tyre gives me the money. The big backer gives me the money to run the whole event, and then someone else can come in underneath and just sponsor a heap of cars and make special one-off tyres. Yeah. And they'll actually do it because it's basically guerrilla marketing. There's nothing better than winning someone else's than your competitor's event.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? So that happened. But prior to that, we were at Oran Park, and then we did a couple of events, and it just got bigger and bigger. And then by 2010, Oran Park was closing.
Yep.
So I said, we have to go to Sydney Motorsport Park, but we're not going to have the revenue to do it. So I went to Yokohama. I said, listen, man, I need some money. I need like $100,000. He's like, you're crazy, man. I'll lose my job.
Back then.
Yeah, he goes, I'll lose my job if I did that. I said, well, we're going to have to bring cars from all around the world. We've got to scale this up, And he said, oh, yeah, I can't do that, blah, blah, blah. So I went and seen his boss, right, and said, listen, I'm going to take him to Japan and America with me, and we're going to try and get this thing off the ground. I hadn't even told his boss how much money I needed. I just said, And he said, yeah, all right, I'll see what I can do. And he come back, he said, I got his leave approved, and we're going to pay his airfare to go with you. So they believed in doing that, right?
Wow.
And then on the plane, he's going, this is crazy, you're not going to get it. But by the time we got to Japan, we went around Japan with a one-page document trying to convince guys to come to an event that didn't even exist. And then we got one of them, because my mate lived there, and we took him around a few. Anyway, we got the first team to said, yeah, okay, we'll come, was Pan Speed, right, which is RX-7, yellow RX-7, really cool-looking car. And we went out, they took us out to dinner that night, and they're sitting there, and they gave us this fish called fugu, which is poisonous pufferfish, right? It's a delicacy over
I learnt
there.
that from The Simpsons.
You've had it? Yeah.
No, fuck
so
that.
anyway, and it comes out, it's got gold lace and everything on it, and they said, and the lady, it was a lady running the whole show, right? And she said, okay, we've decided to come. Okay, arigato. Right? And then they said, your guys have to eat this. And I said, my mate sitting there goes, what is it? And I said, it's poisonous pufferfish. She said, I'm not eating that. She goes, okay, if you don't eat it, we're not coming.
Right.
So anyway, it was a bit of a joke. But they committed to coming. Mind you, we haven't even got any money to bring them here yet.
Yeah.
But so they've come. And C.T. Hansen back then, he's a car guy, so he wanted to do it.
Sure.
He just didn't know how to do it. And then we got another car to commit. We went and seen a bunch of people, and it was like an ongoing thing. And then we jumped on a plane and went to SEMA show. And then we walked around America, walked around the Super Lap battle in America, and there was cool cars in America too. It was taken off over there. So I could see then the vision that this is going to work because it's happening elsewhere in the world, just not here.
Yeah. And we're always behind.
We are, but you know what? Australians hate getting beaten. So I knew once we bought the cars here, it's on.
Yeah.
It's going to create that fire.
Yeah.
And I was right.
Yeah.
And so then we walked around Super Lap Battle at Button Willow and said, I'd seen the two cars I wanted to bring, FX Motorsport NSX and the Sierra Evo, right? And they said, oh, man, that guy's like a billionaire. He owns like an IndyCar team. And really? Wow, okay. So I said, I'm going to have to say this. So I went up to him and said, listen, man, I'm Ian from Australia. I'm doing this event in Australia. We're going to do a worldwide event. If you win today, I'm going to ship your car there. And he goes, you know what? I'll hold you to that.
Yeah.
I went, got him. So then after they won, he come looking for me.
Yeah.
And he come up and he goes, so where are we going to? Austria.
Oh, wow.
But, the other car didn't come. They blew the motor up or whatever. Something happened. But he put the car in the container and we shipped it across the world. And he turned up here in a hire car.
Yep.
And he was old, man. He was like in his 70s then, Yeah. And he walked up and he goes, how you going? He was pretty serious. He goes, where's the cars? I said, around here. And he goes, open the container. And I opened the container and it was the Cyber Evo. And he goes, that's the one. You did it. Thanks.
Yeah, right.
And then it was just, that was like, wow.
So-
because I thought he was going to go, what's happened to my car? Is this all safe?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
it's fucking here, right? We're on. We're doing this, man.
Yeah.
He was down for it too,
Yeah.
And then unfortunately in America, the whole thing sort of really went bad. I don't know what happened over there, but I think it was some TV deal they were meant to do, and I've heard all sorts of stories, but the whole thing sort of crumbled over there not long after that. And I think
In terms of Super Lap.
well, Super Lap's still going, and Jason's picked it back up and run with it. But at the time, it went through a whole bad period. Not long after we started going, you know. So But yeah, we got the thing off the ground, and then that was the first year and second year, and then the Aussies, of course, we're not going to get beaten like that, man. So Costa and all these guys started building badass cars. Murray Coote, Murray Coote's car's a story on its own. That started in a motel car park in, I reckon, where was it? Manfield in New Zealand.
Right.
And I was there with helping Jake Jones with the drift car, and am I talking too much?
No, it's actually
perfect. Yeah,
this is good. Yeah, normally we've got to pry, but this is
yeah. So I haven't probably told anyone this whole story before.
Go for it.
So I was so Murray was helping his son Josh with the drift car, and I was helping Jake Jones, and he said, "Oh, we'll go." And so we went up and got some Jim Beam cans, and they come out and they were warm, and we're sitting there drinking these warm Jim Beam cans, and Murray says, "So my son tells me you're building this one lap race, Tell me about that." And I said, it's just bait. I told him the whole story. We went to America. He goes, "Yeah, that's cool, man." He said, I could build a car for that. I got a S13 shell at home, and I got I know you need aerodynamics. There's a Murray's real just. There's no bullshit. It's just this is what we need, and whatever I don't know now, I'll go and find out and I'll work out, and then I'll put it together.
Yeah.
And he said, and then the big one's the driver, and I got the driver. He's a young bloke. I'll bring him down tomorrow. He was a guy named Earl Bamber.
Yeah.
Back then he was a no one. He went on to win Le Mans twice with Porsche.
Wow.
So this was when I met him, he had a skateboard in his hand. Right?
Yeah.
He was young, but he come over and did it in the first year, and then Murray just got hooked on the whole thing. See, the big thing too is it doesn't have to take over your whole life. It's not like going and running V8 supercars because it's once a year. So you can sort of build the car, and then you can park it for a few months and then start again. And normally they do it the week before the event.
Yeah, sure.
But it's something that you can do as a bit of a hobby. Well, especially back then,
Yeah.
But yeah, so that he built that car, and then that finished up with once Earl got picked up by Porsche. Murray put Shane Van Gisbergen in it. So we've always had some kick-ass drivers, which has really elevated as well.
Yep.
And then of course the Japanese have always brought out Super GT drivers, that was like you see all the kids turn up and they go, man, that's like the dude off the video.
Yeah.
He's in the garage next to me, so that's inspirational in itself.
Yeah.
So I think all that stuff inspired people to build these cars, and then you see guys that, like 8 years ago were in club sprint class, now they're at the top of the open class, it's just growing in that manner,
That's crazy.
Anyway, that's enough shit about me.
Nah.
Talk about Candii.
No.
Well, now's a good time. Let's do a formal introduction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Candii, where'd you get your name from?
So, Candii, I think this is going to spin a lot of people out because they just think that my name is Candii or Candace.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. So,
Surprisingly.
surprise. My real name is actually Nikki. So,
And why the...
So Candii came about because, myself and my father, we both worked in the confectionery industry. My dad worked in that for 50 years.
Yep.
And when he'd come back from overseas, he'd have a suitcase full of candy, Jelly Belly, Haribo, Yuppie, Trolley, all that. And I was just known as the candy girl.
Right.
So when I started doing promotional work, I like to keep promotional separate to my job, my day-to-day. And I just thought, what can I make my name? And I just decided on Candii.
So you named it based on your job that you
I was about to say, that's not really...
That seems
And
fair.
the funniest thing, I met her, I reckon, in 2006, was it?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. It was
So-
a long
something
time
like that.
ago.
And she turned up at work, right?
it was
I
actually.
was actually working on the phones at High Octane back in those days,
Yeah.
And she turned up at the counter and she goes, "Hi, my name's Nikki. I'm here to do work experience." And I'm like, I don't even know what to say. I'm seriously lost for words.
And that's what you actually said?
That's what I said. I don't know what to say. Anyway, we've become good mates ever since then. And Candii's, she's a real true car chick,
for
no
sure.
bullshit. She's actually into it the same as all us guys are. So it's really good.
We used to have tap beers together because when I was studying TAFE, I do mechanics and mechanical engineering as well. And on the Tuesday, I'd come up and meet them up the pub.
Yeah, right.
And
Beers,
she's always had Sylvia's and
Yeah.
does all her own work and it's the real a lot of girls probably these days with Instagram try and pretend. car people, but she's actually a real
This
one.
was before you actually had to put photos up.
Well, it was before
It
Instagram.
was, yeah.
Yeah. You had to actually own a toolkit.
Yeah,
A trolley jack, you know.
Yeah, right.
I spent all my money on my car, so I had to learn how to work on it myself.
Do it yourself for sure.
100%. Noticed you rocked up in a S15.
I did, yeah.
How long have you had that for?
Oh, fuck, like 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Had one before that for about 2, and unfortunately someone else ripped that off. But
Yep.
Oops.
Yeah, oops.
Oops.
Yeah, I drive the shit out of that. It's got like 305,000 Ks
Wow.
on it now. Yeah.
So Candi's always come. She's always at Time Attack. In fact, when we first bought Keiichi Tsuchiya out here,
He actually signed my
yeah,
shirt.
so he was in Japan. Let's say, so I don't know if you guys may or may not know, but his history of, he's basically the guy that sort of is credited with inventing drifting.
Right.
But he's a racing driver. Like, his career's been racing driver. He comes second at Le Mans in the Toyota GT1, like won his class at Le Mans in the NSX.
Yep.
Raced the Super GT NSX, the Arta car, and he's just an icon in Japanese car culture.
Yep.
And part of that is because he's just a mad car dude. So he was, when he first come to Australia, when I first bought him here, and he said, "Oh, this is one of the best events I've ever been to." I said, "Kidding me, aren't you, man? Like you come second in Le Mans, like racing GT1." He goes, "No, that's very serious work." And someone yelling in your ear, you know, he goes, "This is just rad."
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but when we got him here, and he was just, I think he didn't realise in Australia, people just, because of the internet really, and people, you know, the videos and back to the VHS days, you know, that he made all that Drift Bible and all that stuff. So he was like mobbed, man. We had to get security around him. Then in the end, security didn't work. So I went, you know what we're going to get? Promo girls. So we got her and one of the other girls, and they become his security. And I go, "Please move away, please. Come on, guys."
Yep.
And
No,
the people
security.
actually listen.
Yeah.
They'll listen to a woman more than they'll listen to a 7-foot
That's
Samoan.
so weird, eh?
Yeah, I know. You know what I
Worked
mean?
well.
I think they're just, sorry. It's
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
like they're intimidated. So,
Yeah.
so I just gave him the girls for the weekend, and they had to
He
look
loved
after
it.
him. But he's coming back this year. He's the coolest dude,
Can't
man.
wait.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah,
He's coming back for the girls.
Yes.
yeah. I know. You know what? He's a dead set. Lovely
That was
guy.
way too much enthusiasm.
Yeah. Yes. It just blows me away. I see, you know, he'll be walking up the pit lane, I'm showing it, and there's some bloke running up after him with a front mudguard off a Toyota Corolla. You know what I mean? To
I
get
get
him
the
to sign
signature?
it, you know. And there's another bloke with a glove
Steering
box
wheel and shit.
hanging over the balcony going, hey, don't go, I need this sign,
Yeah,
you know. So anyway, it's a heap of fun.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool, right?
Oh, it's crazy.
Oh,
It's,
I've got to tell you the best story of when he was first coming, right? And he said, "You guys will appreciate this because you're exotic car dudes."
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we were. I went over and I flew over to meet with him, and I got to meet with him in his cafe, and I took Tats Kano from Yokohama Tire and said, "You know, we want to bring you to Australia." And he goes, "Yeah, I'd love to." And we did a deal money wise, and you know, I knew that whatever we paid him, we're going to get it back in
Gonna get
ticket
it back.
sales. It
Yeah.
was just, it's a no brainer. And so we did, but I said, "I want you to come and have a good time," you know, and he said, "Yeah, okay, I'd love to, but what am I going to drive?" I said, "I don't even know yet, mate. Like, I can't give you an answer, but I'm not going to bullshit to you. So we'll find something for you to drive. There'll be something, I'll work something out, you know." Yeah, okay. And then in between then, so I went back home. I think that was like in maybe the end of the year sometime, and then early in the new year, or maybe in April or something, Dino from Speed Hunters rung me up. He said, "You know, I'm coming over to Australia with the guys from Pagani, which is that crazy exotic car.
Yeah.
And they're going to probably sell a couple in Australia, and they need to set up a dealership, like dealer training for the Mercedes dealers, so wherever they sell it." I said, "Yeah, cool." He said, "Is there any chance you could book a hotel for me? Alberto's coming from Italy." I went, "Yeah, no worries, man. I've known Dino for years."
Yeah.
So I booked a hotel, and he said, "Listen, you should come and have breakfast with us, you know, with this Alberto from Pagani." I'm like, "Yeah, righto." So I just did a little PowerPoint presentation. I said, "So this is what we do," you know. It was before I had the book, you know.
Yeah.
I was on an iPad going,
Yeah.
"So this is this, you know, and this is that." And he goes, this little Italian bloke, he goes, "I love your passion for this event. You know, we are building the track car called the Hawara BC. I will bring it here for you."
Wow.
I'm like, "Fucking no shit."
Yeah.
No shit.
Actual words.
Yeah. So then Dino's going, well, he's bringing Keiichi Tsuchiya here. We'll put him in the car and send him to do a lap time. I'm like,
Wow.
this is all just happening. Going,
Well, how did this just work?
no, but I'm going, they're not going to do that, man.
Yeah.
But listen, don't worry about it. It's, so I went, this is not going to happen, But then
He can drive Candii's S15.
no, but
Worst
then,
comes to worst.
then I started seeing all these emails go back with this Alberto and the other bloke, and it's happening, man. The car's coming, and then I got this thing from Alberto. Please confirm Mr. Tsuchiya will be available to drive. I'm like,
Wow.
you reckon? What do you reckon? So there was only like 5 of them ever made, right?
Yeah.
And they air freighted the car here, right?
Wow.
And I'm telling you
Wow.
now. So I told him I'm bringing this car. You can see it in that book there.
Yeah.
I said I'm bringing this car, and I'm going. I'm guarantee you, who would have been sitting there in Japan going, this bloke is absolutely full of shit.
Yeah.
I'll guarantee you, man. If he's sitting there going, no way in the world.
Yeah.
So anyway, then he turned up. We got it here, and it turned up, and we did a press release. It got on the news, man. Like
Yeah,
Channel
it would've.
9, we did a press release for the New South Wales government because we get help from Destination New South Wales. So we took it down to Jones Bay Wharf, and we did a media launch down there, and Channel 9 come down.
Wow.
Because this is like a $2 million supercar.
Sure.
They didn't
Yeah.
even understand what we're doing. They just think it's in Australia for some crazy car race. But
Yeah.
it was awesome publicity for us.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
And for them.
Yeah. So, but the crazy thing was, I said, so at the time, I had a guy named Renato Liberto working for me, who I'm still good mates with. He does all the Ferrari drive days, and he knows a lot of ultra high net worth individuals. And he said to me, if you want to sell these cars, I can sort of give you a connection to maybe guys that would buy one.
Yep.
And so I went back to Dino. I said, look, I can get, a Rolodex of these guys that I don't want to get involved. I'll just put in touch. He goes, there's no point, mate. They're all sold.
Yeah.
And I said,
What do you mean?
so what
So
did
what's
they
the
bring
point?
it here? And he
Yeah.
goes, I don't know. You talked them into it.
Yeah. It's true though,
It's
right?
a true story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Alberto didn't come. He had some other thing to organise. So the car come out here
It's
with just Dino and some little guy from Taiwan that just, I'm here to look after the car. I'm like, this is just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, of course, I didn't want to touch it. Like it's,
Yeah.
it's way above my pay grade,
Yeah.
But we got it. We put a big display on. There's another one in Sydney. The yellow one a guy owned, so we put that in there with it as well. And
Yeah.
it was really cool. Like it was, and from that day on, I mean, Tsuchiya must just think I'm connected to God or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was that year. That was how that happened.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
And it's good because that sort of gives trust in
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
from all these oversized
Yeah.
overseas guys that it's going to be good. It's going to be.
I tell you what though.
it's always not normal.
There was a few watching the live stream with him going like this.
Oh yeah, shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because he's a racing driver,
Yeah.
and he's a drift. What do you reckon he's going to do?
Yeah.
Can we watch that anywhere? Is
Yeah,
that,
it's on. Yeah, it's all on YouTube and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
So, but anyway, look, the car went back, and it was obviously good PR for them.
Yeah.
I don't know what PR you need when everything's sold.
Yeah.
Sure. For the next one.
Yeah, and I think even like a lot of the exotic car brands, all the cars are sold.
Yeah.
So they don't need to do any advertising.
Yeah.
They just do events to keep the loyalty with their
Yeah.
customers. So I don't know. Maybe it was that. I don't know.
It's
But
community. It's hype. It's networking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of fun we had that year. That was
Yeah.
2016. So
Wow.
it's almost 10 years ago now.
And
Jesus.
it's worth noting, like what he just said there in sort of 5 minutes explains World Time Attack. It's
Yes.
always next level.
Yeah.
Like you got Red Bull there with the planes, right?
Yeah,
Is
so
that-
that's
is that
Matt
how-
Hall. That's Matt Hall.
Matt
yeah.
Hall,
He's Rebel Air Race champion.
Yep. Yeah.
And he's the coolest dude too. So taking that off on the straight is that's something we have to do. I
Yeah.
said, and he didn't know that they put all the lights and everything, and they've got gantries going over. I went out there and I went, God, I rang his girl at operations guy and I said, hey Kate, has anyone been here? Like, there's fucking gantries and lights and everything hanging over here now. And
Can
so
you take off?
Matt
Can you
rang
land?
me and he goes, man, I need you to get out. So I had to go out there at 6 a.m. and FaceTime him, right? And he's going, right, move around there, move around there, move around there. And he goes, yeah, no, I can do it. He said, just so you know, like I'm an ex-Air Force pilot and I don't want to die.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to, while it looks crazy to you, this plane's on a string.
Yep.
And I know what I'm doing.
Yep. Wow.
So he was, and he's an awesome dude too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
I watch all his stuff. It's
He's
crazy.
the coolest guy.
Yeah.
He's got no ego. He
Yeah.
says, how are you, man? Thanks.
Yeah.
We just take him up and just hang out in the lounge while he waits
Yeah.
for the thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
And he'll be here again.
100%.
Yeah.
He'll be here on the Saturday.
Yeah.
What other crazy things are going on?
What do we got?
That we can
well,
mention.
I'll tell you what you'll love. I've got 60 years of V12 Lamborghinis.
I think I did see that somewhere.
I've got a Miura,
Wow.
a Countach, which was my poster porn as a child.
Yes. Yeah.
A Diablo, a what's the next one? Murcielago.
Yep.
And an Aventador.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I found out if you could sell the Miura and buy all the others.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but anyway, look, that's just something that no one's going to get to see. I don't think Lamborghini's ever even done
Yeah,
that.
probably.
So, look, we got no affiliation with them. We
Yeah.
just decided. My mate bought the Miura.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's a collector dude.
What colour's that?
Orange.
Okay. Yeah.
And when I found out he had it, I said, and someone else had already contacted us about doing a Countach, and I went, you know what, yeah, rah, rah. So then we got to do it all properly though, you know. So then Inga comes in, she goes, "Is that tent for those Lamborghinis? It's 25 grand." I went, well, how else are you going to display them though?
Yeah,
you know, so we got
have to.
lighting trusses, and it's going to be badass, you know.
Yeah.
We do
Yeah.
it properly.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the thing that people don't get.
Yeah, I know, right?
25 grand for the tent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's gonna store
but
the-
it's the show once a year, and we got to move to that level, and you know, so
Yeah.
yeah.
It's about having a vision, a dream, or a goal, and,
Yeah.
and going for it, making
Yeah.
it happen.
Yeah.
We were talking about this last night with somebody very briefly, completely
Yeah.
different conversation. But you have that drive, or it's people that have that ambition to do.
Well, we're
something
driven by
and to do it.
cubic passion, not cubic dollars.
Yeah,
And everyone that
Yeah.
works for me is the same, you know.
Yeah.
I think Inga might be more onto the dollars because she's got to pay all the bills.
Yeah. How many people go, Ian, you're freaking crazy?
All of them.
Probably
Like-
all of them.
Yeah.
Even me. I look in the mirror and say it to myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that's also like people don't understand the behind the scenes of what
No.
goes on to make this happen.
No. But the other good thing is this year, and I can actually talk about it now. I can talk about part of it anyway. That we got a manufacturer on board in a fairly large scale way this year, which you'll see the thing that Hyundai's releasing their Ioniq 5N at our event.
Wow.
Yep.
And they've air freighted all the cars in from Goodwood.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they out Pagani.
Yeah,
But, they're a very forward-thinking company and they're very in touch with their customers. But, like, I watched, they come in 2019 and they did...
Oh, that was the
Yeah, they
drift
built
thing.
the drift van,
Yeah.
right?
That's right. I do
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
that.
And
Who
they
was
put
driving that again?
Brendan Reeves, I reckon, or someone.
I do remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, so
blue
so
Yeah.
it had their family V6 twin turbo engine, which is everyone knows what it is.
Yeah.
I can't say it on there, but
Yeah.
twin turbo V6, and they made it into an N bus.
Yeah.
And drifted around the track.
was
And
sick.
so Guido said, I'm either going to lose my job out of this or get a pay rise because Korea didn't know about
Sure.
it. But
Right.
they loved it, man.
Yeah.
And it ranked on Google News and everything. But that is connecting to the clients, and so what they've done with that whole end festivals and all that, so they've basically, and I think the biggest problem they've had now is getting supply cars. So now they've got supply cars, and they've done a big. You'll see this year that they've taken over the whole South Circuit, and
Yeah,
I think
that's
I'm allowed
cool.
to say. I don't know what I'm allowed to say yet. 'Cause it's not all public, but they're certainly releasing the Ioniq 5M, which is 647 horsepower.
Wow.
All electric.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's got a drift mode in it because I said it's 4-wheel drive. No, you can turn it off. And it's got a drift mode.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's sick.
Yeah.
Right?
They're full of features.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Joe just recently
Yeah,
bought an
I bought an
i30N.
i30N.
Yeah. For
Oh, did
track
you?
days.
Yeah.
Which,
So-
yeah, I
so it's-
waited.
Well, I've
10
got a
months
Kona
for.
in. I love it.
Yeah, they're cool.
So,
it's
yeah.
it doesn't feel like you're driving a Hyundai.
No.
as bad
No.
as that sounds.
No, well, you know what? If you think back to the XL days, you would never have bought one.
No.
100%.
Yeah.
You know?
So you get it, and
Especially the
it's-
original boxy one. It was
Yeah.
like terrible.
100%. You get in it, and it's actually quite agile.
Yeah.
It's,
They've got the. Well, I think they got the guy from BMW and named him Mr. N instead of
Right.
him. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see it. You can feel it, So, yeah, it's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's good.
Anyway, back to you, Candii. I've been talking too much.
No, it's great.
Do you want a glass of water, Ian?
Yeah, I'd love one.
Not you, Kenny. You've been doing nothing.
In all.
So, I guess when we sort of organised tonight to sit down and do this, I just thought I associate Candii with you, and that's because of obviously all the promo stuff that she's done
Yeah.
over the years.
Well, we've been mates for a long time. I
yeah.
just said to her when she walked, I said, I haven't seen you for ages, man. It would have been probably before, Time Attack last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but before that,
yeah.
COVID put a thorn through everything.
Everyone,
really,
yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah. Whole on
and I
it.
think everyone disconnected because she lives up the mountains and I live in the city and,
Yeah, yeah.
But it's gone now. We won't even talk about
yeah,
that
no,
anymore, will
that's-
we?
No, that's right. Well, I hope not.
No.
It'll be the next thing.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing the promo stuff then? Like, when did that
I
start?
remember. I think the first World Time Attack I did was like 2013.
2013.
That'd be about
And it's
right,
been every
yeah.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every year since.
Yeah.
I haven't missed
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God! Remember you called me up one time and
Yeah.
you're like, "Kenny, I got an idea. I want you to get on the main straight and crack your whip."
Oh yeah,
I'm like, what
So
the fuck?
that was because they had a licensing agreement where we couldn't run a drift competition that year. So we just come up with this. What are we going to do? We're just going to have to put on a show with an
Yes.
exhibition. So we called it Drift Outlaws, and we drove down there in this old combi van and just did. It was just crazy shit.
Yeah.
And dress the girls up in cowgirl outfits and
Yeah.
whips
The
and
Cobra.
everything. And then got the guys drifting around them. I think the ARDC probably had a heart attack.
Yeah.
watching it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But
nerve-wracking.
nothing happened. So I don't know if it was probably Motorsport Australia would have
Back
been
then, yeah.
Well, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
but look, it's we've never had any serious incidents. So when I say that under the under Suzuki crash
Yep.
That was bad.
of 2019, and I want to clarify something on that as well.
Yep.
Everyone's saying that the tyres caused the problem. Well, the tyres did cause the problem, but it was the tyres he used that caused the problem. He made a stupid mistake. He even said it. That the tyres he was using on that practice day were 2.5-year-old tyres that had been used to transport the car over in auto salon. The reason he was doing it because he wanted to shake the car down and didn't want to waste the good tyres.
Yep.
We can't do that on a car of that calibre.
No.
It's like taking your 2,000 horsepower drag Lamborghini out
And trying
on
to save tyres.
on a pair of old tractor tyres. It's going to end badly,
Yeah.
and that's what happened.
With this event, you're limited to 2 sets or something?
No, we had to get rid of all that. So first of all, safety is our first
Yes.
criteria,
Okay.
and we can't. So
Because they kept delaminating the tyres as well.
look, it has. It's not only downforce; it's the power as well. And there's like we've gone right into the back end of it and looked at it, and in the end, we decided that we don't want to force you to use that tyre anymore.
Yep.
You built the car to your standard. You find the tyre that's safe on that car.
That way you can't be pinned
And
for the tyre.
Well, I can't do that to no matter what happens, if you have a tyre failure, they're going to go, it's the tyre's fault.
Of course.
But it's not really the tyre's fault. You're the engineer giving it 2 ton of downforce on a tyre that's not designed for that.
Sure.
And if you let the engineers loose, you know what they'll do, right?
Yeah.
So we've basically just said, that's fine. You find the tyre to go
with that setup.
and look, to be honest with you, when we looked right into the tyre failures, well, his one was because he was just on an old tyre. It shouldn't have been on that tyre.
So it's worth noting because a lot of people that listen and watch this don't even know about the issue that you're talking about.
No, so
the pro cars,
Yeah.
like the fast
Yeah,
cars,
yeah.
at the end of turn one, what speed are they doing?
Oh,
Sorry, at the start of turn one.
actually, believe it or not, because the high aero cars are probably doing about 270.
Yep.
But you took that aero off, they'll be doing 330.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The things have got 1,200 horsepower, but because of the aerodynamics and pushing
Slows
to the
them right
ground.
down. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. So
He lost it just mid.
on
on the
so
straight.
but even last year the Porsche was losing tyres, and part of that as well is because of the power and the carcass is not heating up. You can't get enough because they're only doing one lap, and you put tyre heaters on it. But the ultimate solution was, really now, I think if you're going to go in a car like that, it probably needs to be on a slick tyre,
Yep.
right? Particularly with a bigger sidewall. The big thing with the slick is it's got a larger sidewall generally,
Yep.
and it's also a bit wider. It's also race car type construction,
Sure.
And you also need to use tyre heaters on it
Yep.
because what happens, the carcass doesn't get hot enough, the sidewall doesn't get hot enough.
Yep.
So you can still have failures with them, and again, that's a not really a fault of the. It's certainly not a fault of the tyre. It's a fault of the operator.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're aware of all that, and we're going to be monitoring everything. The other thing is tyre pressure.
Yeah.
So we're going to be if they start having tyre failures, we're going to have to up the pressure.
Yep. Yep.
Because the thing is, the safety is a paramount,
Yep.
and we've got to keep on that. As cars are progressing, we don't have a big committee like the FIA, like Formula One does. It's just me and a bunch of guys. But Motorsport Australia have been really good help me with it.
Yep.
But yeah, safety's number one.
So the rule then with tyres, last year it was control tyre, right?
Yeah, so we have had a control tyre.
Yep.
Look, the other good news about that, for us is that it allows people to be sponsored by a tyre company and run on a tyre that's available overseas. The biggest problem with that AO50, it's only available in Australia and Japan. Right. So all these guys were coming over from Finland
and they're testing on a new
Sweden,
tyre.
or they had to air freight tyres over there
to be
able to test on them. So I think what we're doing is very sensible.
Yep.
I did have a bit of pushback originally because these guys, all their data's on this tyre.
Yep.
So they go, don't change the tyre now, you know. Even when we're having tyre failures, they go, no, we'll work our way around it, you know.
Yep.
All the top teams want to stay on it.
Stay on it, yeah.
But it's just got to the point now, well, we start again. And I think COVID really, having this is our first year back international, it was a good time to do it. You know?
Yep. No, that makes sense. And how does that work with Yokohama? Because obviously they sponsor the event, right?
Well, Yokohama were actually in favour of it because they would once again, they're worried about what I just said to you, that someone goes out and bursts one of their tyres, right?
Blame it on the tyre.
Well, it's always the computer, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, if the car blows up, it's always the computer. It's not the bloke with his foot on the throttle. It's the ECU or something.
Sure.
So they've got, and I respect that brand equity to them too. I want to. So the time was right, and this is going to be the first year that everyone's on. And some of the cars, what's good, like the Corvette that's coming from America, he's got support from Michelin USA.
Yep.
So that's good, And I think, and even Yokohama, most of the big tyre companies talk to each other, Like I've been at the pits in Japan and the bloke from Hankook's there talking with the guy from, sitting there having coffees with the guy from Yokohama.
Yeah.
They all respect each other. I think what they worry about is cheap import knockoff tyres, which we're not going to allow that. So
Yep. So there is definitely rules when it comes to what tyre is going to be used.
So we've actually got a weight to width and height rule, just to keep it fair, because the problem is now you can buy a slick and a much bigger tyre.
Yep.
So that becomes an unfair advantage to guys. Once again, you build a 700 kilo car and you put a 3, 4, 5 slick on it and give it 1,500 horsepower, no one's going to catch you. So we've got to keep it a bit fair.
And it's worth noting, like, no one would know, and you probably haven't even looked at the rule book. Have you seen
No, never.
It's ridiculous.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's something you'd see from Andra or IHRA or it's ridiculous.
So Steve Stanley,
Yeah.
that writes the rules with me, he was the tech director of he was an Andra head steward or something. So he's across all of that. You know?
Yeah.
People look at him and go, he goes, he's onto it. He's done it with me for 10 years too. So, and Scott McGrath. So all the guys I've got there we know what we're doing, and we get a little bit of backlash. Like the Corvette had to put weight in the car because he wanted to run that big tyre. Well, that's your choice. You could have gone down a tyre size. Yeah, but I've got so much horsepower. That's cool. Well, we've got to, we're trying to make it fair for everyone. I felt his pain a bit, because that car doesn't have a lot of aero. So, but you can't just change the rules. So once we set them,
that's it.
And he's a good guy. He said, "I'm not coming to win this year, but I'm coming back. Because he's reset every record over in America,
right?
But in Australia, the cars are so far advanced. That you've got to come here and see it to realise how far advanced we are.
Yeah,
it's definitely leading the world. So
wow,
is that Corvette thing like a army coloured? Is it?
Yeah, with Momo on it. It's a cool car.
Yeah,
I'll make sure I'll take you and
have to have a look.
Yeah,
very good. That's sequential.
Yeah, I don't know what. I'm not sure what transmission, but it's twin turbo LS. It's pretty cool with the turbos hanging out. Turbo has hanging out the front guards, and that's all. That's all the car Candii shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Us old look at that. That's sick,
Yeah, and when you go there, everything's extravagant. You walk through the pits and everything is.
Well, you know what, man? I always say we're not in motorsport; we're in show business.
Yeah.
So put on a show.
You're putting on a show.
100%.
Exactly right.
And I think that's what the fans love that. And you're going to go there and you're going to see crazy shit and you're going to be entertained,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. No, it's
cool.
It's not often that you really love motorsport event. It becomes all the same, right?
No. And for you guys, we're doing the Flying 500 head-to-head this year. So the Flying 500 has been awesome. The main reason we're doing this was not to copy anyone else, but to do it how we were doing it. It was starting to get too dangerous because we were using a radar gun, right?
Yeah.
And so it was, in the end, it got to whoever was the person that held their foot into it longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's starting to get out of control. So I went to Motorsport Australia and said, I want to do the same thing but with cars side by side. He goes, they're already doing that. I said, no, I'm not copying anyone. I'm doing the same as what we're doing, but we need a winner.
Yep.
And he goes, we'll have to look. So they bought it. Well, I've been talking to you guys about, we've once again about, well, why does the Lamborghini have to do this? And we've done risk assessments on everything, but we're doing it. So that's going to be a cool thing this year. You know?
Yeah. And so what are the new rules then for the Flying 500?
You'd have to speak to Brendan about that. Yeah. So, Brendan, the good thing about that, I've given them that basically. So they've got an event within an event.
Yeah. So that's Turbo Smart.
Yeah, it's always a Turbo Smart Flying 500. So they basically. And the good thing is Brendan's so in touch with guys like you. He knows these are the guys we need to get. Bang, bang, bang. And he said, when we're going to do it, he said that some of the guys can't turn the cars around quick enough. I said, well, don't get those cars.
Yeah.
Get ones that don't change the criteria.
Sure.
So, find cars that fit this criteria and get them along. And we only need 16 of them.
Yep.
It's going to be badass. I think it's really good, and it's going to be just as the sun's going down again. So
that's cool.
No, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Such a good event. Like last year, we won. Or I think I won it in the white car. 280.
Tony won it twice or something.
Yeah. So that's always fun and super competitive.
Yeah. And you know what, man? Just having those cars on display all day is unreal.
Yeah.
Everyone loves it because you don't get to see all that, So that's and I said to Brendan, that's an important part. Make sure all the bonnets are up and the dudes are there to talk to people and
Yeah, it's fun.
It's good that like all these little parts of the event are still at the top tier of like that Flying 500. All the cars are retarded. Like,
I know. Yeah, even the drifting. So drifting's struggled the past few years in its to get. It's gone through a whole heap of changes and so there's a lot of trying to find a lot of top tier cars is really hard. But we got them; they're coming out of the woodwork, and then you bring over all the overseas, and we've suddenly got the most badass drift show again.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw, but we got those. So Levi Clark's built this like 35 Chev or something with a tunnel rammed LS in it, and then we got a one with a blown LS like an S13, and another guy with a 4-rotor RX7, and we're going to drive Mark Trueno's ATV tank down the main straight, right, and then drift around it.
Oh my god!
Right, you know why? Why not?
Why not?
Man? It's sick, right?
Yeah.
But the funny one as well with that, I tried to. Mark said, "Can we get some T-shirt cannons?"
He asked me if I wanted to do that.
I said, "Can we get some T-shirt cannons?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I tried to buy them online, and they go, "No, you can't buy them in your region." I'm going, I found out where they're imported somewhere out of Eastern Creek. So I rang a bloke up and he goes, "Where are you?" I said, "Sydney." And he goes, "No, can't sell to you. It's a prohibited weapon, mate. You'll go to jail." I'm going, "What, for a T-shirt cannon?" Like, seriously? I got maimed by a double XL. You know?
Yeah.
But so, anyway.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, wow.
And so where does Mark fit in the you guys
I
are close?
just know him, Mark. No,
So that's FX Motor?
Yeah, Street FX. Yeah.
Street FX.
Yeah. He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
And he just said to me, "Baker, I got this tank. What can we do with it?" And I said, "I don't know." And he sent me videos of it at Power Cruise doing a tug of war or something. I said, "Well, we're not doing that."
Yeah.
That looks unreal at Power Cruise, but we'll find something more relevant to our audience. And then when these hot rods at Devon turn up, I went, "This is sick. That's perfect."
Yeah.
Again, just everything
it's
full on.
Everything, yeah. When I think Time Attack and Ian, I think as a person, I just think whatever it is,
Crazy.
plus 10.
Yeah, well, we tried to do that. But you know what, though? That's what people want.
Yeah.
This is an escape from the mundane just for one weekend, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I do believe it is what you said, showbiz.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it's killer.
I was thinking of saying something whilst you're talking and now I forgot.
Yeah.
Now you start talking, you're like, I don't know what to say.
It was so important too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. After thinking about how much goes into it, the cost of setting up and running something like this that lasts what 3 days?
Yeah, so there's a practice day.
Yep.
And then there's 2 event days. Last year we had to do a diluted version, which sort of confused everyone. But it was we had to de-risk it last year. It was still COVID.
Yes.
Was here and there was floods. Man, we had to refund like 10 people that lost their house in a flood. I was waiting for Godzilla to come over the Blue Mountains and take the racetrack out. It was.
Yeah.
So, so it's 3 days, 1 practice day, and we're going to allow some GAs into the practice day this year. We've never done that before.
Right.
Because people want to come and see it,
Yep.
And then, 2 days of competition.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
So the practice day, people can attend to watch.
Yeah,
now?
we're limited to 500. So
Right.
I think we've only really sold 100. So there's still 400 people, but they can't go into the pit area because it's OH&S with
Sure.
it's a bumping area and so on. But they can go up on the top and sit in the grandstand or whatever.
Yeah.
whatever.
Can they
But it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
I can't remember how much it is, but the ticket's cheap.
Can they pre-purchase them online or
all
something?
online,
Yeah.
yep,
So
yep.
we'll put the link
Yep.
somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So what is the cost of something like we did touch on this before we jumped in front of the cameras, but like if you haven't been to the event,
I can tell you what, it's more than a house out here.
Yeah. So it's worth mentioning how much risk and how much. I mean, you got to have this passion.
Yeah.
But that's where it turned to crazy.
Yeah.
And I know that you've done it for so long, and that's why it's like, well, you just go little bit by little bit by little bit.
Yeah. I guess I'm a bit like Matt Hall, right? Like when I'm looking at that going, man, you're crazy going to land that here, you know?
Yeah.
It's probably crazy. It's not so crazy to him because he knows what he's doing. I guess I feel a bit like that now with what we
Comfortable.
do.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of support from industry now, like, you know, and we try and, you know, we've got to give value back to these guys. So the only way we give value back to guys is bring bums on seats, you know. And so if you're an oil company, how do you sell oil there, you know? So you've got to be able to not just give me money, but you've got to be able to activate properly so you can get a return on investment.
Sure.
The guys that have done that have done really well, and they're on the phone to us straight after, how do we book next year?
How do you book it? Yeah.
But if you just turn up and give me money and don't do anything, well, that's the result you're going to get, you know. So we try and then you say, well, how do we get, you know, if we can do that, if I made you that, how do we make you a bit more and you can give me a bit more, you know?
Sure.
And it's growing into that now. So our trader area is probably have to be one of the biggest trade displays in the country now, you know, I would say.
Yep.
And guys like this year, I said to you, we're selling corporate suites to Motec, to Yokohama Tire, and they're bringing all those people in. TurboSmart did their 25th anniversary there. Garrett has done has done their Asia Pacific conference there. So but that's particularly on the Friday. You know that we can turn that into a
when
bit
it's
of
not so crazy.
Yeah, and it's an industry day. So guys bring their, you know, you bring all your mechanics out there, walk around the fair, you know, watch a bit of race and go back to work.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go back to it.
Probably not.
Yeah.
No, they say they don't go back to it. They say they're going to go back to it. They don't go back to it.
And this is something like even I'm always in awe walking around there. The things you see. There was these old school. I can't remember what they were called. It was old school mechanical injected V8 open wheel cars just sitting there, and I just happened to start chatting to the guy, and it was the owner. And
that was the McLaren from.
Yes, that's right. It was a McLaren. Yes, and there was a Ford next to it. Or was
that was a what's his name? The guy from Queensland. That was like a Kaditcha.
Yes.
Yeah, that had a Cosworth DFV engine in it. Yeah.
Sick car, like crazy.
Yeah,
and then we got to watch it go around the track.
Yeah.
There was a Formula One car there too.
So we've always worked at bringing stuff like that in. You know, I say, if I was paying money to walk through the gate, what do I want to see?
Yeah.
Would I like to see that? Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll bring it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
And they were really, that guy with that McLaren. So he's Harry Jones. He's racing overseas in Carrera Cup now, in Super Cup.
Wow.
And so he drove it around. That car did a 128 or something.
Yeah. Wow.
With him driving, like he drove the wheels off it.
Yeah.
And could drive it, you know, like a lot of the guys that own those antique cars are gentlemen racers that have probably never had much racing experience until they got a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then because those cars are not cheap.
Yeah.
So then they're at best they're average, you know, but he was on it, man.
Yeah. Killer.
And you could tell he was on song, you know.
And this is all old tech. Like,
And he's
it
a
was
bloody
cool to
good
see.
bloke, you know.
Yeah.
I think for anyone that doesn't know World Time Attack, like the in-car footage, all everything, the media, it's up there with V8 supercars, right?
But you know what else
Like
it is? Oh, well, look, V8 supercars is a different animal, you know. That's a big dollar commercially.
But I see the same in-car footage.
They've got more
live.
people in their catering than what we've got in our entire team, I reckon, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, in terms of, we do not compromise, you know, and like in terms of making it the best in the world, that's what we do.
Yep.
So and you can see that when we do it, you know, we don't compromise on the production of the live stream, everything. So it's got to be kick ass.
And the people that are overseas watching their mates over here, they're getting to watch it on TV or internet?
No, free on the internet.
Yeah.
Right? So we did have a look. To be honest, we had a bit of trouble with that in the first place, just simply because there wasn't the infrastructure. So it was dropping out right when his mate was going out for his hot lap, and we're just getting hammered. What happened to your live stream? I go, it's not us, man. It's you.
Yeah.
But it probably was here, or you know, it was just that they didn't have fibre optics everywhere, And then, of course, what happens when everyone goes in there and they get on their phones, then nothing works, you know. So, but now there's a lot more. The cables out of there are big, and you can watch it anywhere in the world for free.
Yep.
So I've always said, look, I looked at every model to do that, and we just find as much support, financial support, we can do it, because it's $100,000 production.
Yep.
You know, so it's $100,000 on something you're not getting anything back on.
Yeah.
So, which sounds crazy, but what do you do?
Yeah.
Yep.
We just sell as much as we can, and carry the pain, and hope you sell enough tickets.
Sure.
But that helped us enormously getting cars from overseas, because suddenly the guy with the Audi, his sponsors in Sweden know they're going to get value out of doing it.
Yeah,
so
and worldwide.
it's an investment in what we do, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what gives other brands that you mentioned before, oil companies, tyre companies, getting bum in seats.
Yeah, and we've always tried to get guys that, for many years we had Toshi Hayama hosting it, right? He's still a good mate of mine. He's off Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
So people are like, that's the dude from, you know?
Yeah.
So it's all that car culture thing. He's been so busy. Like, I didn't even bother. He's doing a lot of stuff with Lexus. I might get him back next year, but Luffy does a great job too. Warren Luff is.
Yes.
And he laps it up because he's won the event.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, he fits right in. I've been mates with Luffy for years, so it's good.
Yeah. And that's who did the Starlight.
He did the lap in the
Last
Lambo.
year, yeah.
Set fire to the brakes, I think.
Yes. Changed the colour of the front wheels.
Yeah. Well, he will drive the wheels of it. He's been on the podium, I think, 5 times at Bathurst. So he can probably pedal a little bit.
We sent it out and we're like, shit, we probably should have turned it down a little bit.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, we tried to take it easy.
Well,
6 laps later.
Take it easy.
No, because he's known Tony for years as well.
Yeah.
So when I first spoke to him, I said to him, you know, just be careful, Luffy. Like he said, no, Baker, I'm going to take it really easy. You know, and I said, yeah, well, you know, the thing's got like 1,500 horsepower. And he said, yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm not worried about looping it. I'm worried about a connecting rod coming through the floor. He said, most of the things I've seen with 1,500 horsepower don't do multiple laps.
No.
You know, they're meant to go, zoom.
You
know, and that's it.
Yeah.
And we're going, anyway.
He went and done,
He went
6 laps.
Came
back with no brakes. Engine was good, trans was good, no brakes.
Yeah. Anyway,
God.
So that was
crazy.
cool. Now, Candii, tell us about your experience with this. So what do you do at World Time Attack?
Promo. That's
Like
my
what?
thing. Yeah.
You pretty much, how many, do you watch your steps?
Oh, nah, just don't watch it. Well, now I only wear sneakers when I do promo because of that, just walking too much. So if anyone needs promo, I'm like, what's the attire? Because I'm not wearing heels.
Right.
Especially for World Time Attack.
A lot of them have learnt that because it's a long day on your feet.
Yes.
And
Couple
it's
of
not,
days,
and
so.
it's not like a hall where you can go sort of from there to there. And you're like,
You're everywhere.
everywhere. And they go, we need
show
you
and
up there. And they
shine
go, don't worry, I'll take you on the golf cart. Hang on a sec. Where's my golf cart?
Where's the golf
There's
cart?
nothing more
Never.
stolen than a
Yeah,
golf cart.
that's right. Yeah.
They are just, and I think because the same key. So the first thing people steal is a key, right?
Yeah.
And then they just take anyone's golf cart. You know?
Yeah, we've almost rolled that.
Yeah, I know. Well, we've had one of them roll. Yeah.
Should tell them about the song that we made, all about the boost.
Oh, have you seen that?
No.
God, it's horrible.
Can you see it?
That was Greg Lysian. Greg is a marketing genius. Like everywhere he's worked, you can just he's got his fingerprints. I look at that and I go, that's cool shit. That's Greg.
He's good.
You know,
He's really good.
So one of the years we had a bit of it was the year we couldn't do drift, right?
Yeah.
And so he said, well, you know, we're going to have to make something crazy, you know, and I'll send you a link to it. But he did that. Who's the trainer? Megan Trainer.
All about that bass.
Yeah.
But we do all about that
He
boost.
he rewrote the whole song and he storyboarded it. And
It was
we
really
got
good.
in
It was
the back
so fun.
Yeah, and he brought the whole film crew. We did it up in the South Circuit pits at Eastern Creek.
Right.
Yeah. It actually came up on my
It got
playlist the other day.
50,000 views in, and it's still like it's really corny.
Yeah.
It
but
was
it's bloody
mostly
cool.
people making fun of us and
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
how
Of
shit it
course.
was, but
Yeah.
who cares?
And we had a few of the Time Attack cars in there, and you know, it was
Tuning Fork was there from
yeah,
Haltech.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
it was
yeah,
good.
we've
I'll,
had some fun
link
over
it
the
to you
years.
Yes.
after. You're
Yeah.
gonna die.
But they actually found one of the models that can sing too, didn't she? She actually sung.
Oh, she actually sung.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get Candii singing.
No, don't sing.
No, I think
Can't
Candii
sing,
tried to
can't
sing
dance.
and that Greg rejected it. Maybe
He heard me singing in the car.
that went in the blooper reel.
Yeah.
You know.
That's when people
That's
started
when I was
bagging
wearing
out.
the horse head.
Yeah,
that's
the horse
right.
mask. That's right. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So this book that Ian's had made for World Time Attack
I've
was
been eyeing it off the whole
2017.
time.
I think it was the end of 17 we made it. Yeah, 17 or 18 maybe. Yeah, we sold them. We still sell them. You know,
Yep.
we'll sell them at the event and
Yep.
give them to all the VIPs and whatever.
Yep.
So, but it's a good. You know, sort of really shows you what the vibe of the whole thing is
Yep.
if you've never seen it. You know,
Yep. And if anyone wants to grab it online, they can grab it.
they can. Not at the moment though, because we've shut the shop. We just don't. So what's happening? We're so busy. You
Yes.
know, like you've seen how
Yeah.
I messed you
Oh,
about with coming here.
Oh,
you know?
I wasn't aware.
And
but
poor
yeah.
Alan, like I wanted to bring him, he just said I don't have time back, so he'll be still working now. So
Yeah.
we've had to shut the shop down just till after the event. You know?
Yep.
But yeah, you can normally buy it online.
Just so that people don't buy things and then go, hey, where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
What happens? People these days expect stuff. I need it by Friday because it's for my mate's mate's birthday party. I'm going. Well, we don't even. I don't even have any staff to do it. So
Yeah.
in fairness, we just had to shut it down. I wish I had more resources.
Yeah, of course.
You know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So, yeah, I guess after World Time Attack,
Oh yeah, we'll have it. We'll have the whole store up and everything.
Yeah.
We've got
Yeah.
a whole merch range, and you know.
and it looks pretty good.
It's
Like,
crazy.
awesome quality
Yeah, like
photos.
Yeah.
Hot Wheels.
some
Hot Wheels?
stuff.
Are they gonna be
Yeah,
there?
that was Mingate. No, so like anything, right? Like Matt always loves coming here, but he knows what we do. He'll come back again, but we don't do every year.
Yes.
You know, so we mix it up. So this year, instead of him, we've got the plane.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and you can only have so much. But next year we won't have the plane. We might bring Matt or we might bring something else, but certainly we'd have Matt again.
Yes.
Without question. He's a true showman. And
Yep.
His son's doing it all now, and
Yep.
and he's cool to hang out with. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all good. And yeah, it's just bloody good to have all the cars coming back from overseas. To be honest with you, and
Yeah.
we're ready to party, you know,
Yeah,
and show
yeah.
everyone what happens in Sydney town.
And do you reckon that they're going to go quicker? Because they fixed
Yep.
up, well, they resurfaced the back end of the track there.
So I'm gonna. Should I say? I'm gonna tell
Go on.
everyone because we're only 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
The Porsche has already gone within. It's already gone within in testing on slicks, and they won't even know anywhere near full power. It's almost gone under a second slower than its record. So once it turns up, and Slade's in that ex MCA car with the VR38, which he said is night and day to drive.
Yep.
Because he goes, it's almost like a V8. The SR20 was really cool.
Yeah.
But it's a light switch. You know,
Yeah.
you can't if you're going to make 1,000 horsepower out of a 4-cylinder.
So hard.
It's going to have a turbocharger like that on it, and it's going to
And
have nothing,
nitros.
then everything.
Yep, yep.
So where the VR, I think
VR38, yeah.
it's a 4.3 litre.
Okay,
yeah.
yep.
With reasonable sized turbos, and I think it only makes 1,100 horsepower, which for one
Which
of
is
them,
heaps.
it's heaps.
Yeah.
But as you'd know,
That lasts forever.
But yeah, that's what he said. It just drive. He goes, it's like driving a V8.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be interesting. So those two are the hot ticket for
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
And then we've got the other interesting thing. We've got Donut Media coming out from America.
Yep.
So Jeremiah, they're one of the biggest YouTube channels, automotive YouTube channels in the world.
Right.
So he's coming out, and Larry Chan is coming out. There's a bunch of Americans.
Yep.
Ryan Turk's bringing a crew with him. We got that. Did you see the Ferrari that's coming out? There's they call it it's an old 308 GTS, right?
Yeah.
And he's pulled and it just looks sick. He's put he owns a company called Stanceworks, right?
Right.
So it's a
It's dumped, massive wheels.
do you remember at SEMA show that
Testarossa?
No, the BMW with the raw steel, with the looked like an old fighter pilot.
No.
Well, he built that, but anyway, he's built this car, and he built it so it's like a stand. He built it to do time attack and everything, right? And I just rung him up and said, "Man, that thing's sick. You want to come to Australia?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Are you shitting me?" I said, "I'm going to get an Australian company to help get you here, and I'll help, and we'll
Yeah.
do working together, and we'll get you here." And he goes, and then he just put this YouTube video up 2 days later. And he goes, "I'm fucking losing my mind right now."
Yeah.
We built this car, we're going to Australia. And he built this most he's a really talented fabricator.
Yeah.
He's put this badass roll cage in it, and
Yeah.
and it's got a K24 Honda dry sub
Accord,
turbo
Oh
with
my
a
God.
sequential transmission. Like, it's sick, you know. And he's only done testing.
Yeah.
right? And then it's coming out here.
Yeah.
And like, it's drop dead gorgeous, you know.
Yeah,
And I said, because we spoke on the phone. I said, "Man, you're as crazy as me.
Yeah.
You know, he goes, oh, man, I just don't want to get your expectations up. I said, listen, it's not about winning. I can tell you now that I want you to come have a look at the calibre of the car. We just want you here, man. He's going to have a queue around him. Like, if this guy's a rock star, he won't realise it.
Yeah.
He's probably not in America,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So that's that. I'm just looking forward to seeing that. And it's so beautifully built, you know, and it's all built by him.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just really what Time Attack is really about.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
So,
So will he be in actual class racing, or is he going to make his own? Like,
he's in open class,
Right.
right? So
he's not there to win it.
and
but
he
he's-
said, I said, no, don't worry, I'll get your tyres.
yeah.
I'll get you sorted. So we'll get it sorted for you, mate. Just come and have fun. No, he's not going to win it. No. Like it's never. But you know what though?
It's the fun part.
Well, imagine spending 1,000 hours on a car. Some lunatic rings you up from the other side of the world, goes, "You want to come to my race, man? It's going to be sick, right?"
Yeah.
And then you spend another 500 hours putting a roll cage in it, and we're fucking going there, man.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And then he's here.
Yeah.
Like. That's just a shit of dreams
Yeah.
right there, right? And then you know, we're going to bring up the stage. You're going to have all these people lined up to get your autograph, and you know, you're going to be part of the big show.
So how do people from overseas hit you up, Ian, to bring their crazy cars over here? Have you bought your own plane yet and container service?
No, but I'll tell you what, I have invested in a lot of infrastructure because the shipping is so expensive.
Yep.
So we bought a lot of racking.
Yep.
So I can fit 4 cars in each 20-foot high top container. Which brings our shipping cost down.
Yep.
I've got 2 sets in the US and 2 sets in Japan.
Yep.
And I'm going to buy a set for Europe.
Yep.
Maybe 2 sets, depends on the demand. The shipping from Europe is still stupid expensive, and the time frame that people are saying, how come there's no cars from Europe? Well, the main reason is that the shipping is just stupidly expensive. I expect it's going to come down a bit next year. Yep. And also I didn't have any racks yet. I didn't have enough money to keep buying. Like the racks are 15 grand a set, and I bought 4 sets, right?
Yeah.
So there's a 60 grand burn, but we got them now,
Yep.
you know? And then, so I've got that so I can bring cars in at an economically way, you know? So look, I think the future's bright from around the world. And the big thing is what happens is, you know, this guy comes here, this guy's a fabricator. He comes here and goes, man, it's the best time I've ever had. I'm building a car now.
Yeah.
The Ferrari's going to be retired. I'm going to build a whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm just going to build a Ferrari up and make it into something really crazy, or who knows.
Yeah.
But it's about the inspiration, and it's about, you know, guys around the world. I think we're keeping the pop in it.
Yes.
You know, we're keeping dreams. Like, I get guys messaging me from Turkey, from all around the world. Go, I don't even know the guy, but he messaged me all the time. He goes, man, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this, man. I'm going to come one year. And I look at his Instagram, I go, he couldn't even afford a plane ticket.
Yeah.
But one day he probably will, you know.
Yeah.
It's so awesome to see that.
Yeah.
I think we're keeping that flame alight in tuner car world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For how long,
definitely.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, the whole EV thing is coming.
Yeah.
I think it will come, but I think there's still quite a few years of internal combustion engine left, at least in motorsport.
I think for our lifetime.
In motorsport particularly, I think
We can't switch this off.
no, and I think, look, my honest opinion, they say, what do you think of electric cars? Look, I don't mind them, except that we're not going to have enough power. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
We don't now,
Yeah.
right? So to try and, you know, dream that everyone's going to be an electric car in the next 5 years is dreaming. I'm looking forward to seeing this Ioniq 5N because they reckon it's sick.
Yeah.
And there's no question about the ability of them to make power.
100%.
But in terms of having an all-electric event, I don't think anyone will go and watch it.
It's very quiet.
How boring.
You know what I
F1.
say?
Yeah.
You know what I say? I say it's all about the emotion of all the senses. And you only need to go and watch Top Fuel drag racing or Formula
Smell
One.
even.
The
Yeah,
smell.
the smell.
It is the smell, the
Not
sight,
like blue
the sound,
cheese.
the everything, you know. So, and I don't know, I haven't had any experience with the electric, so I can't tell you, but we're going to get to see it now firsthand.
Yeah.
This one's going to be cool because it's got 650 horsepower and I'm sure it's going to get thrown around the track.
It's cool, but like you said, it's just eyesight.
Well, it could be, yeah. Like again, for us having it here, it's sick because
Yeah.
it's a new thing. And
It's awesome. Yeah.
But to have a whole electric event, I don't know.
It'd be like watching drifting on YouTube with the sound
With
off.
the sound
That's right.
off.
Yeah, I
Love
agree.
that.
So,
How
so look,
boring.
I'm looking forward to this one. But like you said, I think there's our lifetime of internal combustion engine. I reckon there's, I think particularly in motorsport,
Yeah.
I think you may see the uptake in commuter,
It makes sense to do that.
mate. If you live in Des Moines and you work at Parramatta and you've got a garage that you can plug your car in, you go and buy one.
Yeah.
But if you live in an apartment in Balmain and you work at Penrith or the Blue Mountains,
Yep.
where are you going to plug it into to start with?
Yeah.
So I don't think the infrastructure's there yet for all that. That's my feeling.
Yep.
But like I said, in saying that, I'm pretty excited to see this one because it's just off its head.
Yeah.
But you said it has drift mode, so that's kind of cool.
Well, you know
At least
what
you'll
it
hear
is
the
as
tires screeching.
because I've got the Kona and I know what crazy stuff they've done with that little SUV.
Yeah.
I'm going, this is going to be the same.
gonna be awesome.
So,
Yeah.
I'm sort of hanging to go in it,
When's this car getting released?
It's for I think first quarter of 2024.
Yeah, right.
So they did the global release at Goodwood.
Yes.
And they're doing which I believe is, certainly the Australia release and potentially probably the Asia Pacific release at World Time Attack.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And you know what? The awesome part about it is that those guys are so in touch with the consumer. Like they're developing all the suspension for Australian roads here. I know the guys there. They're like, yeah, man, this is sick, And so they're car people as well.
Yeah.
They're not just getting a car dumped in Australia and going, here, go and sell that. They're developing it for, and I could say that the PR manager, his dad is Tim Schenken, is one of a handful of Australian F1 drivers.
Yeah, right.
So they've got good people in that brand.
That's good.
Yeah.
It makes all the difference.
Can you tell I'm excited to be involved?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, so,
It's good.
yeah.
Any other big brands involved apart from?
Well, we get all the usual. Look, when you talk about brands, forget even what each brand is. They all try and outdo each other in the trade area now. So, so you go, what are you bringing? Oh, no, I'm not telling you. Like Hard Tuned is bringing a R35 GTR with a twin turbo Viper motor.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm like, they only showed us last week. I'm going, right, that's pretty cool, right? And then I've seen some snippets. That I'm not allowed to talk. You can't tell anyone because they're going to unveil it there. And that guy with that Prairie from Adelaide is towing it up, that low Jay Duca. He's built a turbo. He's got this beaten up old Nissan Prairie, but put a naturally aspirated 2JZ in it, slammed on airbags and fabricated all inside. Like, it's just, it is.
Crazy.
Why? I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's cool as hell.
cool,
Though.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your hobbies outside of this? Is full-time job, right?
Sleeping, drinking beer, and
Jam donuts.
and this.
Jam donuts.
Look,
Is that actually a thing?
It's a drink.
Oh,
well, even
sounds like a shot.
It is.
I like to get on a motorbike and just go and have a coffee up the Blue Mountains or something. But look, for 6 months a year doing this, we don't have a lot of time, So it's pretty much on the weekend.
So this consumes 6 months.
Well, you got to remember, there's only me in the lead up to it. There's only me and one other guy doing this.
Yes.
The whole thing.
Yep.
And like at the event, we got a team of 100 people, and I've got the good thing is now I've got really good people, like as it grows, good people find you, so the guy that looks after all our all our talent, and so activations. He was head of Red Bull New Zealand, so you get really good people, and he runs Mad Mike's Drift Shifters, and so he flies over here and works for me just at the event.
Is Mad Mike coming this year?
Yep. Yeah, he's bringing the MX-5.
Yep. Yeah.
So
that's cool.
So this is our year of welcoming back the world. I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
And we
back to normal again.
Back to normal again, and we've got another 3-year contract with the government, New South Wales government. We had a meeting with them yesterday. They're over the moon with what we're doing. So.
You won the award for it, didn't you?
We won the New South Wales Sports Award in 2000. We tied with the rugby sevens.
Footy, yeah.
You're joking.
No, so not many people knew that, yeah. So
not bad.
And I think in terms of ticking boxes for the Destination New South Wales, they're the Tourism Bureau, right? So I was showing them our stats yesterday and going, look, our tickets from Christchurch, New Zealand, there's one of our biggest spots, ACT Canberra, Townsville. So people come from all over Australia and all around the world to come here. Whereas, for instance, nothing wrong, not bagging V8 supercars, but the V8 supercar race at Sydney, I doubt more than a handful of people would have come out of the Sydney Basin because, you know, they'll go and see the one in Queensland if they live in Queensland or the one in
because it travels around.
Yeah, because the whole circus travels around. So we've got that thing which ticks a lot of boxes for New South Wales, And I've always, you know, I'm from here. I'm proud of being here. Let's do Sydney, you know.
Yeah.
I just wish that when we first started doing it, the nightlife was kick ass in Sydney, you know. It's fucking embarrassing when people go in there now and you go, they come from overseas and you say, you know, so where do I go? And I'm going,
I pretty much stay here, man.
You know what? I reckon go to Parramatta. It's probably better. It's really stale in the centre of the Sydney at night. Like you take them to the Opera Bar or something, it's cool, but that's only in the, you know, that's from shuts
till
at 10
about 11, yeah,
10 o'clock at night or something. So it's a bit sad. I hope they reinvigorate the nightlife because that was one of the big things that everyone used to love,
especially when it comes to bringing people from overseas.
You know, 100%. You know, they could go and
that's all they remember, right?
Right, they'd go and start down at the Opera Bar or something, then go for a cruise up through the pubs of the city and end up at the Cross. Now it's all shut. So that's my only gripe with being here. And you know what? I went down to the Adelaide Motorsport Festival. Man, the nightlife in Adelaide is insane.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably about 25 years too old. But I felt like a geriatric when I'm looking in there. But I'm going, you know what, man? If I was young, I would have got in there. That Hindley Street and all that. So they need to bring that back. You know, they really got to get there.
I think Melbourne's pretty good as well compared to Sydney.
I haven't been out in Melbourne for years, but that's my only gripe with Sydney. But I've heard Parramatta's pretty good now. The main strip at Parramatta, and that's closer to here to Sydney Motorsport Park.
I thought that was just all food and cafes. But
I think there is a couple of nightclubs there now. And I don't know. You just need some vibrancy, you know. But otherwise, everyone loves Sydney. You know, they go to Bondi and they go to the Blue Mountains and they go go to Palm Beach or something. So we've never had any complaints about the quality of the city.
Sure,
it's only the nightlife, and that's Anyway, it is what it is.
And that's all because of the lockout rules, right?
Well, I think they just overstepped the mark. And I can't help but think that, you know, there's got to be some bullshit in behind there with the property developers trying to
100%.
snatch up things and turn it into apartments. If you go and look there now, it's probably the stuff where all the nightclubs were. It's probably apartments. I don't know. I'm guessing, but that's what happens. So they've only got their interests at heart, you know. So anyway,
no, that's true.
How
did we get sidetracked? You got worse ADHD than me.
I reckon Candii told me.
What was my previous
Remember
question?
I told you I've also got dementia?
Yes.
He's got part-timers.
I feel like I've got dementia.
that I've got ADHD, you see.
What was my question, though, before we got down that rabbit hole?
I'm going to look up some of the questions.
Oh, that's right. It was the hobbies.
Yeah.
You play guitar?
I used to till I cut my finger off. So
and then what? You can play. You can play without.
Well, you can't. It's not. I didn't do it for a living. I just did it for fun, you know. So, and then of course, because I got ADHD, I ended up with about 96 guitars. Right? You know. So that was probably not such a bad thing that stopped. I don't know, man. As you get older, like I'm 56 years old now, so you get a bit tired on weekends compared to what you used to. And I live in Balmain, so I like to just go and have a beer in the afternoon. I go and have a coffee in the morning and a beer in the afternoon. I'm probably done. You know what I mean?
When did this beer in the afternoon in Balmain start? What age? I need
2003.
So 20 years ago.
I've lived in Balmain from
I've got to pack this shit up right now.
You know where I used to live at Kings Park?
Okay.
I sold my house to Inga that still works for me.
Yeah,
and I moved in there. I just like it.
So hang on, you moved to Balmain at 35 years old?
Yeah, well, in 2003, so whatever that was,
20 years ago.
All right, so I need to...
Get your shit together.
Like, in 3 months.
Where you going? Are you moving?
Balmain.
Are you?
I'd love to.
Yeah. It's pretty expensive in there.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad when I bought in there.
But it would have always been...
Yeah. Well, I
different to Kings Park.
So I went from a house to an apartment, and it was the same price, basically, you know. So that's what you get if you want to live in you go and live in a much smaller apartment, you live in there, or for the same price you live in a house out here, you know.
And the apartment has less maintenance. And
all that stuff. And because I travel a lot, when we're doing all this, you know, a lot of the time I'm on the road or somewhere. And, So
it makes sense.
What do you do? What's your hobbies? You're probably the same.
I play guitar as well.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, but look, it's same as you. I don't play professionally.
Yeah.
I started when I was 5, sort of.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and it's just been like riding a bike. So
awesome. Yeah.
I like to pick it up every now and then, but when
Not
it
as
comes
much
to
as
new
you'd like.
content, not as much as I'd like.
But you're probably the same. You're probably here every day and every night, and then come weekend you go, where's the newspaper?
Yeah, not all. Yeah.
You know.
These days, it's not newspaper. It's usually flicking through your phone.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So no, I don't get too much time for my own hobbies, and obviously cars and stuff. Like it's just, but
I guess when you start, like I look down there and you got like a candy shop down there, man. So you've come into work every day. You're probably like me. You get up and go, how good is this, man? Until something turns to shit and you go, why am I even doing this? Right?
It's like a daily.
And I look around there and go, like that could turn to shit really bad. You know, like when you're talking about risk before, I'm going like twin turbo and a Lamborghini. That's kind of got some risk.
It's high risk. Yeah.
But it's cool, right? When it works out, you know. So it's probably no different.
I think, and we say it all the time. We're like, if we were doing, low risk stuff, we'd just get bored.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So even when I had fabrication business, I didn't want to. I was earning serious money working at the dairy, purge welding pipes and everything, right? And I just got bored of it, and then I wanted to go and build car shit for about a tenth of the income. You know what I mean?
Literally. Yeah.
But I love doing it, so
So is it worth bringing up? So because no one really knows your history. So you out of school, what are you a fabricator? Are you a boilermaker?
I became a fabricator. I was by choice. I was a fitter and turner by trade.
Oh, you're a very smart person.
So then, remember when they used to have a fitter and turner as a trade? I don't think you can even do
that's
it.
What I am.
Is that what you are too? Yeah. So that's what it was. I went to Medevac Tech.
I thought he was going there with that.
I started building cars in my mum's carport in Carlingford when I was a teenager, and I had all oval window Volkswagens mostly, and then I blew up the V-dub engine and I put a 13B rotor in it, and then I put a 13B Bridgeport in it, and then that blew the gearbox up, and I convinced Peter Hollinger to build me a transmission, and then I was wrecking cars to pay for it. So I actually was making more money on the side than what I was in my apprenticeship.
Yeah.
So a little bit of entrepreneur stuff.
Yeah,
really in the
already.
piece.
Yeah.
And then I was working for Nestle all around Australia, doing a lot of high-speed wrapping stuff, and then finished up at Dairy Farmers doing all their installations. And I fell off a ladder and twisted my ankle. And my mate EJ that owns Royal Purple was building these London cabs. He said, "Come." He said, "The guy that does I was on crutches. I had beads in my hair. I was like a hippie.
Yeah,
I thought I was anyway." and he goes, "Come down, man. There's the guy that does the welding has gone on holidays. It's just seat work,
Yeah.
So I went down there. I said, "Yeah, man." And then all these guys were from Benson's Turbo, and Bruce Garland had just got back from working with Rally Art Europe, and so they had all these real pretty high end turbo guys, and it interested me. I'm like, "Fuck yeah, right."
This is cool.
So this is cool. But we just built these London cabs, right? They'd taken the diesel out, and what happened? They'd come to Benson's Turbo, and so They bought the thing out here as an NA diesel, right? Was for the handicap, those metro cabs. And he said they took it to Benson's Turbo and said, "Can you turbo?" They put the turbo on the diesel, it still wouldn't go up the hill. Right? Like that's fuck from the manufacturer, right?
Yeah.
So, and then Bruce Garland went there, he goes, "No, what we'll do, we'll put a whole V6 Commodore running gear in it." Really? And you can't do this? He said, "Oh, mate, I can do anything."
Yeah.
So he cut it all out. He became the engineer on the job, right?
Yeah.
And then I finished up going, "This is heaps more fun," and they had beers every afternoon, and I had to live up the road, and I'm around all these really high-tech turbo guys, so I just quit doing the other stuff and just sort of went, "I don't really give a shit about the money, I want to do this,"
Yeah.
What year was this roughly?
1990.
Yeah.
And then so me and Bruce worked there, and then we had some very historic, famous Christmas parties, right? Let's just say before phone cameras, we could actually do stuff. And anyway, I don't want to discriminate myself, but we had some very famous, and we actually made a swimming pool out of an XA Falcon, and it was just a heap of fun. And then I got involved with Mazda Australia. I did that was a funny story actually. I did a intercooler on a brand new RX-7. I've never even seen one before. So we did a hot up on a main exhaust. Because he came in and said, can you hot this up? And go, "I don't know, I've never even seen one, but I'll have a look at it for you, probably how it works.
Yeah.
Well, that looks like it probably doesn't flow enough. So if we can make a new one of them, and I can certainly make a new one of them, and then get it tuned, and I got it dynoed. And Peter Muir from Bond Roll Bars come in there, and we just come and have beers. Do you know Peter?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just come and have beers in there, right? And he's sitting there, and he said, "What are you doing on the Mazda?" I said, "Oh, I just did a bit of a hot up." And he said, "How much power it made?" I went, "Yeah." And he goes, you serious? Can I borrow that? Yeah. So he took it and showed Alan Horsley, and on Monday morning, Mazda were there. The really funny part about that story is the guy that owned the car was a guy named Herbert Appleroth, whose parents owned Aeroplane Jelly. He went on to be the CEO of Ferrari.
This guy's not normal, man.
How do you just...
No, listen to this. Yeah. He went on to be the CEO of Ferrari, right? And then so Horsley come and got me and said, we want to build this. So they had the BP horse car for the 12-hour. And he said, what have you done to that car, man? I need to know everything. And I said, well, yeah, I don't want to back and tell you everything, like, you know. And he said, we'll get you involved in doing this. We want to, you know. So next minute I'm at the board. I'm at a board meeting at Mazda at Kingsgrove with all these people. And this is Ian. He's the turbo expert. I'm going, don't say that, man.
I'm going to have to answer questions.
Like, you know, but I soon realised I did know a lot more than what they did, you know. So we built the car. We designed all the prototype for the Mazda RX-7 SP. And they built every single one of those cars out. They're basically the skunk works at the back of Kingsgrove.
Wow.
They just get new RX-7s. The engine was built by a guy down in Canberra named Waterhouse, John Waterhouse. All the carbon fibre work was done by Ian Pollard. Yeah. It was all done in Sydney, pretty much. And the car did go on to win Bathurst, you know, and smoke the Porsche. And so then we were all like rock stars. We weren't allowed to tell anyone we were involved in it because it was all had to be done by Mazda. So it was like, hush, hush, you know. And then I'd have it at work and I'd be like, oh, fucking, you can't come in here with that. But luckily back then there was no phone cameras. So it was more if a journalist come in, you go, mate, you can't look at that car, you know. And then we did the MX-5 SP. That was a good story as well because Alan come in and said, they want to put a blower on it. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. And he said, what do you mean? Oh, well, why not? I said, because they're rubbish. Yeah. Well, they were back then. Yeah. Like these days, you could use one of those road tricks or something. It's probably half okay. Yeah. Back then, they were like hopeless. All they were was big air heaters. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I said, I'm not doing it. Right. And then he bring me up and he goes, oh, have you had a think about it? I said, there was nothing to think about, mate. Alan was I become good mates with him. He was a really smart guy. He was Alan Moffat's manager. He was the reason they won Bathurst was not because we made that car make a bit more power, but it was because of him and the drivers. I think, I can't remember, Dick Johnson or someone was driving, but it was he was the nucleus of the whole thing. But anyway, he was getting pushed by the marketing department to put this supercharger on. I said, I'm not doing it. And then he goes, oh, right, and he got a bit cranky with me, you know. Anyway, about 3 months later, he rings me up and he goes, are you at work? And I went, yeah. And he goes, can I come and see you? And I went, yeah. He comes in this green, I think it was green, a green MX-5, and he goes, take this for a drive and tell me what you think. I went, do you put it on? He goes, take it. I opened the bottle. Yeah, you put it on. Okay. So I took it for a drive. I come around the block. I go, there you go. And he goes, so what do you think? I said, well, what do you think? Honestly. Do you think that's good? If you think it's good, go and sell it. And he goes, I knew you'd say that. So off she comes. And we put the turbo on it, which become the... but like I said, I think these days there's probably superchargers. In small capacity superchargers back in those days, they were not terrible. Terrible. Yeah. And then we did the RX-8 SP was a nightmare because there was no room on it. But yeah, I did. It was fun doing all that stuff as well.
Wow. Yep.
And then I did the Humwick Hallam motorcycle. So I moved down to Victoria and did all that with those guys. That was Rod Humwick actually went on to become Deus Ex Machina, and Paul Hallam was a genius. His dad built the Repco Bradman F1 engine, and he died recently, but he's a top fella, and he designed the whole engine on the back of the napkin with pneumatic valves and everything. And we didn't get the pneumatic valve engine run; they run out of money, like all of it. But yeah, so we did some cool shit back, and then I did a lot of ski boat engines, twin turbo ski boat engines. Yep. Russell Jones used to build the motors and send me, and I build the whole kits and import the collectors from Burns and make all the rest of it.
Yeah, Jesus, I did not
keep going
any of that.
So I did it for a lot of years, you know. It was totally different back in that. I can remember speaking to Keys Wheel when he first was going into intercools in PWR. Now they're making Formula One, so I mean, he was just asking me questions about, you know, with this and that, and I just told him. And Nick Cooper started Turbo Smart after realising that my blow-off valve was shit. And he was right, you know, because we basically just used a blow-off valve off Bondi Sierra and then remanufactured that. So Nick went on to develop it and started Turbo Smart, you know. Yeah. So, I take that off. I'm best mates with Nick these days. You know. So, we did a lot of stuff. And then, of course, I worked with Bruce Garland, who did the Parry Day. Back in those days, it was the Australian Safari, won the Australian Safari. So I did all the fab work on them and... Yeah, and basically, and all pack performance, I was making intercools for everyone back then because no one else made intercools.
Yeah, wow.
and turbo manifolds, and so I had a good business. So I probably was just a bit lazy back in those
And
days.
was that under the name High Octane?
Performance Metalcraft? It's still going
Performance
today.
Metalcraft.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Right. I didn't
yeah.
know that was you.
I started that.
Right.
Yeah, I started that in 1990,
Yeah. Wow.
and I sold it in 2003 to start High Octane.
Yeah.
And we're still one of his biggest customers. So
Yeah.
it's still cool. We're all good
Yeah.
mates with everyone.
Did it used to be side by side or anything?
No,
Factories?
no. When we're up in Euston Street, it was in the same factory. Yeah,
That's what I remember.
yeah. There you go. Yeah, and Bruce was out the back. He was doing the Australian safari cars out the back. Yeah.
Hang on. So how long before High Octane moved?
So High Octane moved. I reckon
Late 2000s? Sorry, like 2007?
Well, I sold that in
That would have been
2007.
Around
about
there?
that,
Yeah,
around
okay.
that
It's about
time,
the
yeah.
same time. Like
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I
it
met
was
you.
about the same time,
Because
yeah.
I went to the old place as
That's
well.
right, yeah, we did.
And so did I. And,
Yeah.
and we're the
Work
same age.
experience.
Yeah.
You come and
Yeah.
did work experience when we first moved into that shop.
Yeah, I remember Kyle from High Octane doing a mad
Yeah.
burnout out the back there in his VL.
yeah. So anyway, look, we didn't just start getting into cars, We just didn't wake up one day and go, let's do a world time attack,
Sure, yeah.
We've been doing a bit of stuff.
You've been doing it from,
Yeah.
And the way we do it.
Yeah, that's
essentially.
right.
Like,
yeah.
You're using your hands.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you're a fitter.
That's right. The fitters, boys.
Yeah.
I don't, is it still even a trade now? Like,
There is. Yeah, fitting machining.
I
They call it fitting
remember-
machining, not fitting
Not fitting
turning now.
turning.
yeah, I remember like when I went to tech, that guy worked at Hoover.
Yeah.
The other bloke worked at the Ford factory in thing. I worked
Yeah.
at Comenge doing the trains.
There's still Arnott's.
Oh, is there? Yeah, okay.
Crane Copper. Like,
okay.
There's
yeah,
all those
yeah,
big.
okay, yeah. It wouldn't be what it was though.
Nah.
You know?
Nah.
It was a good trade though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's I can tell a fitter when I'm working with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they've been.
They think differently.
Yeah. To
They
a mechanic.
Oh yeah. Well, if it doesn't bolt together, it doesn't work, right?
Well, the other thing is with the fitter, you learnt to do everything, like welding and everything. So it was
you make stuff, you make it work.
Yeah.
There's
Mechanics can't build V10s, eh?
no. Well, they can because that's sort of bolt together, right?
Yeah, exactly. Until something doesn't fit, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I think it is a dying trade though, but that's the sad part about
It is a bit, and you know what? I've seen that I actually loved doing it until towards the end. I just got so sick of there was so much stuff coming in from China.
Yep.
And your value was diminishing.
100%.
And then of course what was one of the big catalysts was a lot of my business back then was ski racing engines. And then that all fell in a heap because of insurance. So those guys would spend the money, but the average guy coming in with a Celica to put an intercooler on it, in the old days when there was when you couldn't buy all the Chinese shit, they'd pay $1,500 to have it all made properly,
Sure, yeah.
But then suddenly the intercooler's $200. So how come your labour's so dear? I'm like, nah.
You can't deal with it.
I got sick of it,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Keys was smart because he moved all around that and just went straight to Formula One and WRC and all that stuff. And I think he found his feet and because he was manufacturing up there, and then that put him into, those intercoolers now, you know how much they are?
Like a PWR.
The top line, the stuff the top line time attack guys use $25,000.
Yeah. Oh, holy shit.
Not for the cooling package,
Yes, yes.
But it's when you see, when I look at it, I go, yeah, I can sort of see that. It's not just the intercooler; it's the intercooler, the oil cooler, the radiator, and all the surrounds, the whole. And you go, you know what? When you first hear it, you go, that's easy. But when you look, you go, it probably is that, And it's the F1 core, and you can pick it up like that, So the lighter you get, the more expensive it is, because the harder it is to make and all. So I can see, and I'm sure some of it's even dearer,
Yeah.
But they make some really crazy shit up there now.
Yeah. Your cousin works.
Yeah, she used to work there as an engineer.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, they're huge now, man.
Massive.
And they're now with CSF USA.
Yeah, I think so.
They've gone as partnership or someone.
I sometimes
bought
think
someone.
I could have been half of that.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But you can't run. It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
I was losing the mojo for it anyway, and Keys was all, and I probably wouldn't have had the finance to do what he did anyway. It was what it was. But
it's crazy.
You think that sometimes you go, look at how.
Shit, I wonder if I could have went that way.
Well, you know what? I could have been a quarter of that even, and it'd still be.
Yeah, but then you would have been none of what you are now.
That's right. Yeah, we wouldn't be doing time attack.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
So I think if you look at
You
everything,
find your way, really, don't you, when you think of it?
And it's cool that, I mean, it's like, I feel like this is like fast forwarding our life. Like in 20 years, we're going to go.
That'd be nice.
Hey,
We're going to be talking to a bunch of kids
Aaron,
on video.
Listen, the events, don't do them.
Don't do it.
I'm warning you, man. I'm warning you. It sounds like fun.
Yeah.
No, it is cool.
Nah, definitely not going to follow that footstep, but more just the sake of, telling the young guys what you've been doing for the past 30, 40 years, whatever it was, 30 years.
Yeah.
How good it was back then.
Yeah, and sort of knowing everybody in the industry that we look at and go, shit, that's a massive
Well,
company
the
now.
other thing is what I always, because I did it for so long, and you go, some guy would open up a shop and you go, who's this guy? And you go, where'd he come from?
Yeah.
Like, he must have worked somewhere. Otherwise, he's going to buy himself a whole heap of trouble if he's doing that.
Yeah.
And you knew the shops. They come through Croydon or they come through whatever, or Pack Performance or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he started there and then he's opened his own shop. But he come from there.
Yeah.
When somebody just appeared out of tech, and bought a dyno and a turban and would suddenly become a guru.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
Because it's not as easy as you think. You know that,
Yeah.
It's experience goes
And
a
I
long
think,
way.
it's all, you can go and do whatever you want until something goes wrong. And then
Yes.
what happens? That's when the experience comes into
Yeah.
it.
And not only at a technical trade level, but a business
Yeah,
level.
all of that too,
Yeah.
Like you got to pay your BAS statement or you're going to get shut down,
Yeah.
and I think, and they don't teach you that at tech, so.
Yeah, definitely not as a fitter anyway.
No, nothing.
No.
No, none of that. I always said that. I think school sometimes sets you up to fail.
Yeah.
Because how often do you use algebra?
Yeah.
Right? But they don't teach you anything about tax. Or cooking. Or I suppose you could have done cooking if you wanted. But I think
Same with business
everything-
studies, right?
Yeah,
Like-
everyone should have to do basic ones of that. And rather than having to do algebra, or something, like stuff that you never.
There's a lot of use.
I
of stuff.
used my calculus book to help
you?
roll my guard on my
Oh,
car.
did you? Yeah, okay.
Lowered it.
So it's great to hear it's been put to good
Yeah.
use once, right?
Once.
And what, that was an engineering degree?
Yeah.
And you could have
Mechanical
paid
engineering.
$100 to the old guard roller.
Yes.
You can get off YouTube now, Candii.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
$150
It was a
textbook.
while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
We'll go through
Right,
some
you're gonna
questions.
go through, question time.
Questions.
So we put a post up today and got some people to ask questions. Normally there's some shit stirring in there, so I'll try,
Why are
you
I'll try and move
smirking?
that out. I'll try and move that out. How excited are you to finally have side-by-side racing approved for the TurboSmart Flying 500? We sort of touched on this already.
Yeah,
but
awesome. Again, one of the big things and the big move why I was really pushing for it to happen is the safety side of it. Because trying to do a trap speed against another trap speed, it was starting to get too dangerous.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I remember being well into it up the hill.
Yeah,
year,
that's
luckily.
right. Yeah. See what I mean? So it's going to be who's the bravest. So we're bloody excited. And you know what? It's something new.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that we can fit twice as many cars in the same. We've got a very limited time slot.
Yeah.
So to be able to do twice as many cars at the same time, it makes sense.
Yeah, killer. Yeah, that's awesome. Are you planning on having the Blown Outlaws boys out there again this year? We love seeing them in action.
Not those guys, but we're going to have the drift hot rods, which are pretty much burnout hot rods, burnout
sick.
drift cars.
Yeah.
Those guys are unreal. Once again, Danny and that, I'm good mates with them, but we've got to mix it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they've been there the past 3 years, I think. So yeah, we'll get them back again for sure.
Yeah, perfect.
So it's all about making the show
Yeah,
different.
it's if you come last year, if you just had the same thing every year, it just becomes monotonous.
Yep.
Yeah, but they put on a hell of a show.
Yeah. Could we see SVG? I'm assuming that's Shane Van Gisbergen.
So-
back drifting again at some point.
So we actually he was keen to do it, right? And then unfortunately there was he signed some deal to go rallying in New Zealand.
I think I heard of this.
Yeah, and I think it's a pretty big deal for him. So probably not as big as the deal he's just about to sign over in America, but he was coming. Murray had the car ready to go. Him and Murray are good mates. He was in. until I had the clash of dates with the Rally New Zealand. And unfortunately, we can't do it. You know, at the end I think you're going to struggle to see him back out here very often these days because he's going to be so. He's the hot ticket in America now. I can tell you.
Going around in
and good on him, man. He's the coolest
100%.
dude.
Can I just make a little claim to fame here?
Yeah.
So his 2017 car was named after someone in particular.
Oh, was it?
Candii.
Yeah.
He named it Candii.
Did he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
same
you know,
spelling and all.
And you know what? He's the cool. I seen him in New Zealand, and he goes,
Such a top bloke.
He goes, Ian, he's seen me walking through the beach. He goes, come over here. And he dragged me over to his canary yellow S15 with SVG number plates.
Yep.
And he just wanted to show me the new manifold and intercooler and shit he got put on it.
Wow.
He's a car dude.
No, he's such a top bloke.
It's sick, right?
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a few years ago now, I might say. It was probably, I think it was when he was still, but it was before he was with Red Bull.
Yep. Yeah. Wow.
So you can check that out. Yep. I was like, Shane, shit, you haven't even bought me a drink yet. He's talking about thrashing her
He's
and
already
taking her
driving.
out. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Thrashing her and taking her out. Oh God. Next, we're going to see you rock up with like stickers all over you.
Yeah.
Who is your favourite World Time Attack competitor from over the years, and why is it Murray Coote?
You know why?
So it
Was
is
that
Murray.
him that wrote that?
He'd have to be up there because you know why? He is just the epitome of the whole thing. Like, Murray, you're going to have to wear a uniform. No. And so he wore a pink flannelette shirt just to piss me off. But his car's badass, you know. Like, he's got the craziest driver. He will just not conform, you know.
Yeah.
And he was there every year, you know. I think towards the end it got, you know, I think once the Porsche started to get a bit developed, he was like, and he was getting old too, you know. But look, he's not up there. Costa would be one too. Tilton Racing, without question. Under Suzuki, you know, unfortunately he's not back this year because his car's not finished. And it's not only is it not tested, it's not finished. So there was no point bringing it here. And it's too dangerous to do that now.
Yeah.
So he'll be back next year. All those guys, you know, it's, I think I would hard to. I love Murray because of that story, but I love all those guys too. Like Costa. Costa's been there every year until recently. He's had some business issues, and I don't want to go into that. But you know, he'll be there. He just can't run the car. But you know, I'm sure he'll bounce back too. You know, I mean, it's been tough times for a lot of people. People forget that. You know, that there's not everyone has got through this as unscathed as what you know. Thankfully, we all have so far.
Yeah.
There's been some casualties. That COVID really took some, you know, and supply chain issues and all that. And when you're working on, I don't know what happened with that, but I'm just saying I know some people, they've been working on contractual stuff and they've done their backside, you know, and I think we forget that you know, so it's not the same place we were in before 2000 and before COVID came along.
And they could never have predicted it.
That's right, yeah. Go on.
Who do you think is going to take out World Time Attack?
This year, I would say it's going to be. I would say either my guess it'll either be the Porsche or the Tanuki. They call it now with Tim Slade.
Yeah, okay. We'll keep an eye on those ones.
Yep. But they're going to be faster. The big thing is, my gut feel is the outright lap record is going to fall this year. I said it here and now. It's going to fall this year.
I think it's going to fall too because they resurfaced the back.
Well, no, we're on slick tyres, so
Yeah, that's true.
well.
That has to come down.
yeah,
I'm not sure if this is a piss take or not, but I'm going to ask it.
I love it if it is.
Do you still have all your Rosie magazines from Performance Metalcraft West
My
Ride?
God, who is that?
That's actually Alex Titsolis.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Tony's-
You know,
Tony's
and just so you know, that wasn't me. That was another bloke. No, the answer's no, not since 2003, I reckon. Yeah, that's hilarious.
That's all the ones on there.
That's Tony's brother.
Yeah.
Alex.
So you know when I first met Tony, he had a GT4 Celica. I built the intercooler on it.
Right.
It was one of the first water to air intercoolers I ever built.
Right.
Wow.
So when was this?
I think it was 2004 or something.
Yeah.
2000, so like that time. Yeah, a long time ago. Maybe even 2002, something like that could have been.
So he's been playing with water to air for a very long time.
Well, I think he's been playing with computers for a very long time.
Yeah,
That's why he's
that's
got
true.
so much money.
Yeah.
and that's true too. Like when you think about it, he's been doing that long. That's why he's so good at it, you know?
Yeah. I think he's been doing it for probably even longer, right?
Yeah.
I've been through his car collection with him over the years. Like he told me the story, and it's
Yeah,
great.
well, that's where I met him. BD4s.
Yeah. Yeah, right. All right, well, I've got some questions. These are generic.
Candy's answering the next one.
I think I'm going to... I'm going to set this up because I alternate, right? So I want Candy to answer.
What are these questions?
They're just suitable. Okay, ready, Ian?
Yep.
Do you know the rules?
No.
No. Okay.
What is
All right.
this?
So answer is you're going to be fairly quick.
Yep.
Based on all
Yep.
your other responses. 5 seconds.
Yep.
Around about.
Yep.
Tell
Wasn't
me
it 10?
No way.
No, 5 seconds.
I reckon we'll get it in
I'll get
one.
the timer going. Yep.
Okay.
First thing that comes to mind, just answer it honestly.
Yep.
What were you afraid of as a child?
My mum.
Mum. Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any reason?
Because she used to yell at me for doing stupid shit.
Very good. Candy, who is your hero?
Oh, probably my mom.
Your mum as well.
Yeah.
So it looks like mum's just going to be the answer to everything
Yeah.
the way we go. Yeah.
Just,
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know.
Well, she's a
just-
girl.
Yeah, but your
She
dad.
just held everything together, you know? I was
Yeah.
scared of my dad.
Yeah, but your dad has a very good trade too, doesn't he?
Yeah, like engineering background as well.
Yeah.
And like we like, I don't know, we bonded over firearms. That was what
Right.
really brought us together.
That's very nice. Comforting.
Yeah. Comforting,
Oh, yeah. Don't owe her any money, man.
Because I got
You
vermin
fish up full
control.
of holes.
Yeah, it covers,
Yeah.
vermin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what brought us together.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but
Very good. Okay. If you were a fruit, what fruit would you be, Ian?
you'd be a
I'll be
fucking
a
Fruit
pear.
Loop.
He'd be a Fruit Loop.
I think I'll be a pear.
I think he's already
A prickly
Fruit
pear.
Loop. Yeah, prickly pear.
Yeah.
Okay, Candy, what is your favourite body part?
My eyes.
Your eyes.
Yeah.
That's not a body part.
Is
Who
it
wrote
it's
these
in your
questions,
fucking body? I
Nah,
don't know.
they're generic.
My
Oh, generic.
biceps?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I did switch that.
Yeah,
That was
okay.
supposed to be yours.
Yeah. My big. I was going to say my second toe. 'cause
second
it's
toe.
longer than my.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Unlike your finger.
Yeah, unlike my finger. We'll leave those finger jokes out.
All right, eyes, really.
Yes.
Okay. Ian, what are you most looking forward to? Oh, this seems pretty obvious.
World Time Attack.
The after party at World Time.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So where's that? When's
The
that?
Bald Rock Hotel.
Okay.
Really? You're having it at the Baldy?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Jam
Francis
donuts
has
for
been
sure.
my supporter for many years, and they sponsor us every year.
Yeah.
Yep. And I said, I didn't even ask you this year because, I haven't seen. He does Dry July, and we moved back. He goes, no. I sponsor you every year.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've helped me over the years. I help you. I admire what you're doing, so I back you.
Yeah, nice. Okay. You have to let us know the date and time.
Yeah.
We'll be there. Yeah.
Candy, if you're a fruit... Sorry, no, that's not you. We already got that one. What is one thing that you wish you enjoyed more?
S15s.
Oh, God. Probably spending more time shooting with my dad. Like,
Okay.
looking back at it now, I wish that I spent...
Is
like,
this at a
more time.
range or a...
Yeah, at the
okay.
range. Yeah. Because he can't shoot anymore, and sometimes I think, like, I wish
That
I
was the
spent
It's
more
not the
time
back
with
streets of Auburn, mate.
No.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah. No, all my
I
firearms
was
are
like,
registered.
I've been
Thank
watching
you.
the news and there's a lot
I've
of
been
shootings.
hearing about it. Yeah.
Yeah, probably, spending a bit more time with him.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I know this answer, Ian, but let's see if you can prove me wrong. Money or happiness?
Happiness.
Yeah, 100%.
I knew that you were going to say
Oh,
that.
until I've got to buy a round. That's funny. Because apparently you can't pay with happiness.
Right. Yes. But you just try and get them on board,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Sponsor,
right. No,
sponsor.
I'll go and get someone. I'm out of money, mate. I'm just a happy guy. Here, go and get around.
No, very good. I figured spending over $1 million to put on a 3-day event, you're definitely thinking about happiness over money.
You won't be thinking about money.
No. What is your last Google search, Candy?
How to avenge
Incognito
fuck
or normal?
Oh.
Check it. Nah, not whatever.
God, I don't even know what my last Google search was. Hold on a second. Well, my fingerprint's not registering. Maybe it's for the best. How many days until September 7th?
What?
Where'd you come up with that?
That's yours. That's what it is.
How did you get that?
She's an engineer. She can't even calculate.
Clearly.
She can't even calculate.
We don't need to anymore. You got them on your phone, right?
Wow. Did it come up with a number?
Yes. 22.
Wow. Okay.
I should have
Ian.
just given you the incognito one.
Yeah, that'd be more fun.
Yeah.
Ian, what was your last impulse buy?
Probably the Kona Red.
Kona.
Yeah.
Right. You also collect BMXs, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a few of them, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give away that habit. See, what happens is it sounds like a good idea and then you start and it just becomes an addiction.
Yes.
But they haven't been such a bad... I bought most of them, or built most of them years ago when they were cheap, and now some of the 80s ones are, $5,000, $10,000.
$1,000,
So
yeah.
they're just taking them off as wool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're not, it's not... It gets stupid because you can buy Repop and everyone goes, oh, that's shit, don't buy those brakes. But the original NOS ones are like $1,000 for the calipers.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it gets a bit stupid. You start to question. But it was when I first started doing it wasn't like that. It's all gone up. But my mate, a good mate of mine, actually the guy that's bringing the Mura to Time Attack, he sold his BMX collection and bought a brand new GT3 RS.
Wow.
Wow.
But he once again he was buying them. He's the one that got me into it actually.
Yeah.
And he was going around to all the shops in the bush and go, up and down the coast. And have you got the old 80s stuff? I've got some boxes out the back. I'll give you a couple $100 for it. And then,
So.
And then it all went like anything, right? You know
Yes.
what part of it is like GTHO Falcons,
Yeah.
I can remember you buying GTHO Falcon for $5,000.
Yeah.
They were on Parramatta Road, and then suddenly they're worth $200,000, or $300,000 or more,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's crazy. Definitely crazy. What motivates you the most, Candii?
For what?
shooting.
Anything?
What motivates me? Oh,
General life.
I don't know. Maybe I need a bit more motivation.
Maybe then a
Shit.
bit more money.
Yeah, maybe I should start focusing more on money than happiness now.
Yeah.
I don't know, just getting up and doing as best as I can, helping others, making other people happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do a lot of that. I will say that, Candii.
Yeah. Thanks.
That's
She goes and
Nice.
feeds the homeless and does all that sort
she
of stuff.
does, doesn't she?
Yeah.
I have seen
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
That could be me
Martin
next
Place.
month.
It will be. I'll see you down at Martin Place. I'll save you a nice
Ian, what are you
jacket
doing here?
and some food.
Oh,
Hey, go, mate. Remember me?
Oh, I thought we had rain insurance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to
No, there's no rain. There's no rain. Don't worry.
We
about
don't
it.
say the R
No,
word.
we don't say the
Oh,
R word.
it's illegal.
It's illegal.
So, getting onto that, rain insurance for an event like that, what's it worth?
Okay, so it depends on how many. It's for how long.
Yep.
And how many millimeters, right? So if you want 1 millimeter for 2 days, I reckon if 1 millimeter for all 3 days, probably be 100 and something grand
Yep.
or more.
Yep.
But if you do like 4 millimeters for 5 hours, it's probably something like 12 grand.
Yep.
But you got to have, and that's to insure it for 200 grand. So you're never going to get the whole. You're only going to get if it rains, you're only going to be not losing your entire house, only the roof. Or
Yeah.
the,
Or
what I
half
mean.
the house.
Well, you're going to be able to pay your bills, so you've got to have it. I think you've got to have, and you just got to be smart about how you work out that If it rains at 8 o'clock at night, does it really matter? Everyone's there,
Sure.
and everyone goes, "Oh, bad! Like we've seen everything all day."
Yeah.
That was shit that it's rained at night, but it's not going to stop people from going there.
Yeah.
So you got to be a bit academic about how you work it out.
These are the things.
You
that
know
people
what's
don't-
interesting more than that is what I found out about the whole insurance thing is when you see these like TV shows where they give away the prizes and stuff, right? That's all insured.
Yeah.
So when you win a car or whatever, or you win $1 million on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire,
Yeah.
that's insured. So and it's insured by the same company, I reckon.
In what part of it's insured? Like what?
So the prize insurance. So if they win, So they pay I don't know, a nominal fee. So against that guy winning that, right?
Yeah.
And it's all just assessed on risk, you know.
No way.
Yeah. So you can do a draw here. You can say, you know how you see things where 1 in a million
Chance.
You got 1 in 100 chance of winning $1 million, right?
It's
So
actually
that's
an
all
insurance
insured.
payout.
Yeah, it's insured. Yeah. So and they actually come there and do it for you. They put all the
It's basically gambling.
well, no,
insurance company's gambling
Well, you
with
see
you.
it with Woolworths or petrol stations that go. You win a chance to win $1 million. They buy petrol here. You go in a draw to win a chance to $1 million. Now they draw it out. They go, right, you've won the draw. Now you've got to come into this office, right? And they're in there, and they've got 100 envelopes, right? And it's in one of those envelopes. Now, if you pick it up, $1 million, you win $1 million. They've got to pay you. I think it's all either written by Lloyd's or London or something. But all the other ones have got to have a consolation prize of $100 or something.
Yeah.
So it's all insurance, yeah. And they probably, I think to do that, 1 in 100, I think is something like $7,000. It's not as expensive as you think.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I know. I only
It's
found
literally
out
like
brain
going to
is
stuff.
so
I only found out about it when we're doing the rain insurance. I go, so what do you actually do? And he goes, we mostly price insurance. I go,
Yeah.
because I was going, surely there's not enough dudes
Not enough
insuring
doing
against
rain. Yeah.
You know, he said, you'd be surprised, but most of our thing is price insurance, and mostly for companies like Woolworths or on TV shows.
Yeah.
Interesting,
That's
eh?
crazy.
God. I've learned so much tonight.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
literally mind blown.
But I think you'll find there's more money in insurance than anything else.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
banking.
Yeah.
Imagine with interest rates going up, they'd be going, man, how good is this? Everyone else is going, "Arr."
Well, yeah, and got full control over it.
And
right?
well, the Commonwealth Bank made 10 billion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, just imagine if you're a bank and you loan
That's a
money
lot of
out.
twin turbo Lamborghinis,
Oh, yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, and we haven't met him yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So where is he?
Yeah. We'll see if we
Yeah.
can bring him in.
Yeah. All right.
Good,
I think
we'll wrap
we
it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming, guys. Really
Hey, been
appreciate
awesome.
it.
Having us.
It's,
Yeah, it's good. Very good.
I'll probably talk your ear off.
No, I'm literally mind blown. It's I had no idea that I'd learn all that tonight.
Same. Thanks, Baker.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, no, well, cool. It was
And this
awesome.
is Candii.
Yeah. It's time to
She
wrap up.
hasn't
Sorry,
spoken
guys.
tonight.
Bye. Next
I
time.
drowned her out, really, didn't I?
No, it's good. It's good. We're here for you, Bakes.
Oh, I don't know about that.
We will be on the after party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we'll definitely go on that
Yeah.
this year.
you know where it is. How many does this go at? We might end up with 40,000.
How many people are going there?
Well, I think we're going to fit a few hundred in.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's not the
It's only in
biggest
the
place.
afternoon anyway. Well, I've learnt the lesson about staying there too late.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but it's Sunday night. What's Monday? Nothing.
Yeah,
Right? Clean
well,
up.
Yeah, well, I've got to go and make sure all these cars get back on a boat. So,
Sure, yeah.
yeah. But anyway, we've been a fun. It's always good value down there. All the Japanese will be there, and
Yeah.
you know the Americans, and it'll be a fat time.
Yeah. Nice. No, awesome. All right. Very good. Well, it's worth saying if you weren't going to go to World Time Attack,
Yeah,
100% go.
Yeah, come along.
We were always going,
Yeah,
Yes.
but yeah, it's
I'll be there working.
Yeah, you'll be there working. You can come and get Candii's autograph.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
Do you
Nikki's autograph.
Oh, do you sign it, Nikki, or
No, just Candii.
Candii?
Yeah. I'm in the book.
You're in the book.
I'll sign
It's in
the page.
book. You're selling the books,
yeah. No, we haven't
Stand.
had a merch stand. Yep.
Yep.
so come grab a book.
We got some hot, fresh merch, man. So come and get
Oh,
a
I heard about
shirt.
that.
Yeah, it's pretty.
This'll be
It's
sick.
actually the best one we've ever had, and
Yep.
we've got a big range of it this year.
Yep.
So I had to buy a merch trailer
Yeah,
because the guy I used to rent it off has retired. He said I was hiring it every year. He goes, "No, man, I'm retired. You got to buy it." I went, "Really?"
Yeah.
Like I need it anyway, so
Yeah.
it's good. We'll use it.
use
So,
it every time.
yeah.
Yeah. Ah, very good. All right.
All
Awesome.
right.
Thank you.
guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.